everybody. I'm Mike.
I'm Bob.
I'm Tim.
I'm Wayne.
Yes.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. And today we are co-streaming to two audiences with the Beans and Dice podcast. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Nice.
There you go.
Yes.
Party horn.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
This is awesome.
We got an action-packed stream for you tonight. We're going to talk to these guys about, their stream and some things they've been a part of recently. We're going to get into family games today. And also, we are going to steal something that the guys from the Beans and podcast do every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Correct. 9 to 11 Eastern.
And that means you guys can call in and be on the show today. So we're going to have a phone line open. We're going to open up that phone line basically right after we start our list. So be ready for that. But this is the call-in line. It's not active yet. Carlos, you rattled that off. You have all the practice on that.
813-618-7099 is the number. Get your calls ready. We will open up the phone lines in about 30 minutes. We're going to start with the primer. We'll get this thing started, talk a little bit about our list, and then we'll open up the phone lines for you to take over the show.
Mike Rice, you are fired. We were just bringing Carlos in to
dude.
run this thing the whole time, man.
The voice.
It's years of DJ practice. Right?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Coming to you.
I started at the roller rink. It's going to take back to an all skate in the regular skating direction.
Oh, nice.
Back in the day.
Now I feel like, though, our guest host should all be like BJ and the dog, and then
There you
just
go.
do wacky
99.7.
morning radio.
Yeah.
And that's what really got us started. I love talk radio. I love, Rob loves sports radio, and the idea of what we did as gamers, right? We would go to a game shop, we'd have a game day, and then we'd spend an hour outside in the parking lot doing what?
Chatting about the
Talking
games.
about games, talking about news and games.
Yeah.
And we were like, you know what? What if we did a show and just did this where people can call in, they can talk to us just like they do now. And that's what kind of got this whole Beans and Dice call-in show thing going. It's amazing having that virtual connection, but then that voice connection with people. It's such a big difference.
I said nobody's going to call in, and I was wrong. We got calls. Yeah.
Well, I've called in on your show, and it's really fun to do that. But I've also, you guys got regulars, which is awesome.
Yeah, like sports radio, you always have that guy that calls in every day or every week. Then you have the new people, and actually, it was Carlos and Rob were the guys who started the show, and I found them during the pandemic, just not gaming, and saw I can call late one night. I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna call in. I called in, and then they're like, hey, you're in Tampa too. Where I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm 5 minutes from Carlos's house, so he's like, well, why don't you just come over instead of calling in? So that I basically they invited me into the show as originally as a caller, so it's kind of cool.
My wife's like, you're just going to invite people over to the house?
People you don't know? Just somebody just come over, do a show?
It was all good.
He said he was cool on the internet. We're good.
Yeah.
He sounded cool.
You're not allowed to lie on the internet.
Puerto Rican man found dead.
My wife was like that when I started inviting people over to play board games. She's like, well, how well do you know them? And I'm like, well, I mean, we played a game together at the game store. She's like, but are they like a serial killer? I'm like, probably, but
maybe.
Whatever.
What are the odds of two of us being in the same place at one time?
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
We've been talking online for
Spider-Man
several hours
meme.
a day, so.
Pointing at each other.
Hey, we should say hi to our regulars. Our resident troll is in the house. Said our show probably isn't going to happen because we're hooked up to telegraph wires. That sounds about right.
Nice.
I will field all telegraphs that come in. I'll read them uncensored.
Probably in Bob's house.
Nope.
Steph is on the other side of the world and asking
Yeah.
if it is a free international call.
We do get an international viewer. We got our friend Edmund from Sweden, who jumps in the chat every single week, no fail.
Nice.
But I don't know about an international call.
The line is not a free international call, I don't believe. It's a local Tampa number, so,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Nick's in the house as well. Midwest represent.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's
Thanks
good to
for
know that Jazz is actually homed. We were worried. So
Yeah, that's true.
thanks for sharing. But no, man, we've been trying to get you guys on for a little while. I know it's just kind of getting the stars to align and the schedules to work out, but I'm going to just say it right now and I'll say it again later. I do appreciate y'all making the time to come and hang out and do this with us, because I love what you guys do over on your show. It's very cool. You got a great free flow conversation. You're very well informed. You're busting out news, and sometimes I'm getting news from you guys, so I appreciate that. I like that. And then
there's Carlos.
And then there's Carlos with his sultry radio voice, man. I dig it.
We come along. Yeah, our show just goes whatever direction. I mean, being a call-in show, we got to be real flexible. So we try to kind of set a general topic every week. We've been doing this for pushing 7 years now. 6,
Yeah, I
7
think
years?
3 years. We just celebrated 3 years of call-in show.
Call-in.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's
It might be
maybe
more.
Yeah, I think it's a little more than that, maybe. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, the show we have a
The
general
secret
topic.
is Robert and I started the same insurance company, and it's very much a phone call-in center.
Yep.
So
sure.
Being on we were professionally
Just natural,
trained to how to deal with people who are aggressive or upset or changing, can't control the topic.
The way in which we've had over the 3 or 4 years I've been on the show, we had 2 or 3 prank callers, right?
Oh yeah.
There's the prank caller that's immediately cursing and screaming, you just hang up. But then there's the prank caller that wants to kind of play along and be kind of a fun,
almost fit in,
funny troll.
Yeah.
And I'm immediately just hang up on that guy. I mean, but Carlos just strings it along and he just weaves it, his customer service skills of keeping it funny but not crossing a line is good.
20 years of call center experience, baby, right there.
There you go. Yeah, that does it.
I feel like you've done time, man. I mean, that's not that's a punishing gig right there.
For sure.
Yes.
Gluttons for punishment.
I did put the your guys' YouTube channel in your Facebook group in the description of the video. But for everybody watching, just jump on over here and give their page a sub. It definitely does not go unnoticed.
Right.
So let's see if we can give you a bump here. I'm just gonna keep refreshing until this number goes up.
I would have laughed if Mike would have not subscribed.
Oh, no, that would have been hilarious. It's like when we have a guest on pitching a Kickstarter, and Mike brings up the Kickstarter page, and he's not a subscriber. He's not a backer, and it's like, Mike, you could put him over.
At least I have it saved, though. I'm a decent human, Dan.
Whatever
The
else
audience
you
doesn't know is
Mike.
we're not moving forward with the conversation until we see that number tick up. Not until we see that number tick up. Once it ticks up, then we'll move the conversation forward.
Yeah, I mean, you want to hear what these lists are? You better. We just need
I'm
one.
refreshing.
Oh.
There we go. We got at least one. All right.
There we go.
Yes.
They understood
There we
the
go.
assignment.
I need to see
We
more
call
of
it the
that.
BGR bump.
Understood the assignment. I got my confetti going.
And right over
Right.
here, just give that a like. I'll keep refreshing that until that goes up.
This is the whole show.
This is all we're
I
doing.
thought that was a gag. That was a gag.
Forward refreshing.
So
Then you
while,
got the BGG.
Watch go
where
refresh your
you
Amazon
guys-
cart.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Don't have any adult-oriented material in there.
Nice.
Oh, very
This-
fitting,
Oh,
Dave.
I
No,
like it.
that's-
Dave,
Yes.
no.
Oh wait, what? No.
Dave,
It's only
Hey,
there's a cap to what you can be subscribed to.
Yeah, Di only allows them to subscribe to so many things, so it's like
Oh.
he just
that makes
alternates
sense.
between Full 42, us, and now Beans and Dice. So
Oh, this one's for
Now I'm
Dave.
gonna
This
take
one's
it.
for Dave.
We'll
There you
take it.
go.
I'm gonna have to send him a personal Discord message every time we go live now, just to remind him. So.
To resubscribe. Yeah.
so while we are, oh look at this, Jazz. Hey, you're not wrong.
Not wrong.
You're not wrong. They sound great.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
That
That's
sounds
good.
great.
That's that guy
We're gonna
again.
have
That
to work on
Carlos and
our
I
his,
got a
his
voice
DJ
for
there.
silent films.
Yeah.
And a face for radio.
And a face for radio. Same.
Amen.
Same. Well, while Mike is trolling the audience, why don't you guys share a little bit on why you picked top 5 family games? Why is this one important? Other than obviously that y'all have families.
Sure.
And that's the biggest piece that I think brought us mostly together, right? It's the family component. Our motto here is Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Yep.
Right. And my biggest worry about being a content creator was I got kids, I got a lot of noise in the house, but you know what? Whatever. We're going to put it out there because this is how we game. This is how we get together. Families are important to us. We got connected with the Tampa Gaming Guild here in Tampa. It's a board game club, not too far from where Wayne and I live. And they have a connection with a cancer academy in Tampa. It's an academy for kids with cancer called One Voice. Check them out online. That's the number one Voice in Brandon, Florida. They have a huge, sprawling campus with horses and animals, classrooms, cafeterias where kids with cancer can come and get their education during the day, but also have the ability to interrupt that by going to treatment. That's hard to do for families, right? Being able to balance all that. We connected with them in October. We joined a Kids for Cardboard board game collection drive where we collected board games for the school and we sent them out there to the kids. And we had the director of the school, the founder of the school on. She came on and she loved the call-in show aspect and asked us, can you guys come out and teach these games? So just a month ago, Rob and I went out, taught these kids how to play a lot of the games that we purchased. I had the opportunity to teach Kent Catan Jr. I taught Flip 7. Rob, you taught
the monkeys on the building.
Super Rhino Hero.
Yeah, Rhino Hero Super Battle.
Hero,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. Jumped out of my head.
Played some Reef.
Yeah, Reef. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we spent an evening with these kids that ranged from like 4 to teenagers, like almost 18 teenagers. At the end of the day, what I walked away with, they're kids. They're just like our kids. But when they turn around and you see like scars on the back of their head or what they're dealing with physically, it broke my heart. Yeah. And that was what we were feeling when you asked, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? We were in this mode of like kids and family games because we were just focused on teaching that. So that's when we say, you know what, let's do a top 5 family games. And that's what brought us here today to talk to y'all about our favorite top 5 family games. We'll give that quick rundown and then we'll open up the phone lines, right?
I think that's the Tampa Gaming Guild does this. This is the second year, at least, that I know that they've done it. So like every year they kind of do this board game drive to get board games to bring to this campus because Tampa is a big medical area. So there are some really big cancer hospitals. There's Moffitt Cancer Research and Tampa General Hospital, which is massive. And so there's a lot of facilities for young to old people who will come to Tampa for treatment. And so I thought it was just really awesome. Like I know Carlos, he left his copy of Flip 7. Like he brought it with him. And like right now you can't get a copy, but the kids loved it so much. He's like, yeah, you know what? This is just got to stay here now and I'll find a copy somewhere else.
Donate it. Yeah.
And he taught one kid and said, now here's the goal is you got to then teach these other kids how to play it. And just seeing the excitement in the kids where they get to forget about what they're dealing with and get to play games is really cool. I'm definitely going to be there next year.
Yeah, great
That's
time. We'll
incredible.
definitely continue to do that. Yeah.
I will say I gave away my last copy of Flip 7 because I had a few to Rob because Rob had not gotten a copy.
Haven't got it yet. Yeah.
And then I went and taught it, and I was like, I can't leave with this. Like the kids had so much fun. This has to go in their library, and I thought I'll just jump online and buy it. Oh, I could not find it. But you know what? That hurt really felt good. Like it's one thing to give it to them and not like it didn't mean anything, but when it meant something, it hurt and it felt good. But I will say, wifey found 4 copies online that she ordered for me, so I got 4 on the way.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Robert showed up today, back with my.
I brought his back.
Still in shrink.
Yeah,
there we go.
I regret giving it to him. If he's had it for 3 weeks and it's still in shrink, you're a
deserve
jerk.
it.
There you
You
go.
can just give it over here. I'll take
I was
it.
just waiting. It's gone around. I tried to give it to Wayne. Wayne wouldn't take it, so I got to bring it back to you. Yeah.
Wifey knew that I had promised some copies out there, so when she saw it show up on the op, she's like, 4 copies on the way. Let's go.
Nice.
So shout out to Wifey.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. I was just like running through my head because I know the humble brag, right? I know the marketing director for the op, and I'm like, okay, let me get Carlos's address. I'll get him to send one over to him. But you're set up. You're set up.
Yeah,
you're good.
now.
But I love it, man. That's an amazing story because every day, right? The news is a bummer for whatever reason, and so to be able to put out some light into the world. And all it takes is for you guys to just give some of your time. I mean, you play games with anybody, right? So you're already doing that, so it's just giving a little bit of your time, and it's so easy to take that for granted.
I mean, we are the 2023 Stonemeyer Games charity winners.
Yes, we did win that. Yeah, that's right.
Best content creator winners 2023.
Yeah.
I think we made like $3,200 for our local charity through that. Thanks to Jimmy Stegmeyer.
Yep.
We got the most votes. Got a copy of Wingspan Asia and yeah, it was cool. Charity champs right here.
That's what's up. We gotta up our game, man. We are some bums.
Yeah.
Just greedy over
we
here,
are
like
some
dragons
bums.
sitting on our hordes of games.
Hey, I gave a bunch of my sealed games to Toys for Tots this past Christmas.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Oh, I guess I did give some stuff to Toys for Tots, but I don't feel like I did enough.
I know after all that, I was like,
Not
well,
now.
Not now. Right?
This is a good competition to have right here. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's go, right? That's the way to be. That's the best kind. It's the best kind. Well, I'm really really glad to know that you guys are doing that. That's awesome. And that's all
my
the more
man
reason
Chester
why
Wilson in the chat. That's a beans and dice guy right there. Chester
Hey!
Wilson.
Wasn't I
sweet.
didn't catch the name. There we go.
Yeah. Hopefully hit that sub, hit that like on the board game rundown. Give them that viewership too, please.
Share the love.
Yeah, we'll take the bump.
Yeah, Mike, bring our page up until we're going to refresh that. So we
No,
get
yeah, increase there. Hey, we'll make it happen.
That's Bob
there's
just trying to
another-
flex. Like, look at all the subs we got.
That's right. Do we have?
All right. So what are you all drinking tonight for your Whiskey Wednesday?
It is Whiskey Wednesday, right? We all came
It is.
prepared.
Yes, it is. After the whiskey, I want to revisit your top 20 because I love the way you guys do that and update it throughout the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were highly drunk when we thought of it, so it's a great segue.
Great
Love
segue.
segue.
Great segue there.
Perfect. Why don't our guests tell us what they're drinking first?
All right, so what I brought with me tonight, I picked this up at Christmas time. This is a craft distilled Spirit of IPA. This is Dark Door Spirits. They're out of Tampa, Florida, and this is distilled right here. And this has got it's got this IPA hit to it. They use some barrels with some IPA, and it's just. I like it. Rob's not an IPA fan.
No, not
We
particularly.
shall
I like
see
Oh,
how Rob
I haven't
enjoys
tried
it.
it yet,
Can
so I'm
he
gonna try it.
tell?
Yeah.
Nice.
Can he taste the hints of IPA? We'll find out.
Well, he can now.
now that you said it.
No, now you said it. Yeah.
And
Wayne?
I'm actually I have two tonight. I'm switching back and forth. So the first one is a Brooklotics heavily peated Port Charlotte. So it's a 10-year Isla whiskey. Smells like a good chimney. And then I'm doing the Weller Special Reserve.
Ooh, I
There
haven't
you
cracked mine yet.
Yeah.
It's hard to find around here. I probably paid too much for it.
Yeah, I won that at a charity event. I did where you bid for baskets, and I was like, I gotta win this. So I kept.
Yeah, we're not bragging about all the charities.
I'm sure I overpaid. For
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you know,
That's
I was at this
right.
other charity.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sorry.
Does it count that Bob donates a lot of feet pics? Just
Yeah.
So Dave asked a question. Have I been on before? I was on the last Thanksgiving a year and a half ago. I wasn't
yeah,
on
you were on our Friendsgiving.
Thanksgiving. Like a
See,
year
I
ago.
thought we were crazy doing the whole like let people call in, and then Wayne told me about how he was gonna go just jump into another stream, like actually be on TV
Yeah.
with y'all. I thought that was nuts.
Does it count if only like two people counting our mom's watch?
That was kind of nuts. Like we tried to coordinate everybody to like certain time
That was
slots
awesome.
and like overlap
was-
certain people. That was
Mhm.
pretty crazy. That
I
worked
was
out pretty
fun.
well though.
I want to do something like that again. We took it way easier on ourselves this Thanksgiving. We went way more laid back and just had like a couple of guests on. But but yeah, man, I mean that's kind of the thing, right? Is like sometimes it's like, oh, let's just try it and see what happens, you know. And thankfully, you know, unlike the call in, I think we didn't get any trolls, you know, like so nobody
Right.
called in and just, you know,
Just
I do
wait.
remember. I think
Watch.
Dave and his wife did a game show with you
Yeah.
guys, where it was like the pieces from board games. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
yes.
That was really
Yeah.
cool. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Dave and Di are all stars, man.
If
They're
you haven't
really,
met the Rossies IRL, you get a chance to do it.
yeah, they go to shows all the time. I don't know if they go down that far down south, but I mean they live sort of New Yorkish area, right? And then they but they go to Origins and Gen Con and stuff.
Yeah, it's been years since I've been to Gen Con, but I used to go to Gen Con every year. Our big one is Dice Tower East, where we're 30, 40 Tampa people at least at Dice Tower East. And then I typically go to Dragon Con in Atlanta as well. So.
I've heard a lot about Dragon Con. I have friends that live in Atlanta, and they're like, "You got to come down. You got to come down."
That's a big one.
That's big. I know, Carlos, Rob, you guys have been there at least once or twice as well, right?
I've been a couple times, yeah.
We volunteered.
Yeah, we volunteered.
Look at that.
God damn it again.
All right. There goes my charity, my bingo. All right, another charity. I'm also a charity bingo.
See how many times we can work volunteer into the lineup here.
See, I think you guys are brave doing that whole like letting people onto the screen, right? Because if callers call in, right, I can bleep out stuff that they say.
Sure.
But when you've got the visual medium, like sometimes you can't unsee that kind of, right? Like it's just
that's right. Well, it ain't gonna get much worse than what I got working.
Yeah, we set the bar real low, so anybody coming on is
no disappointment.
Yeah. We didn't. But yeah, I mean, I guess like hindsight, right? Because we I guess we had talked about like, well, what if something happens? What do we do? And I just was kind of like, well, we'll figure it out, and also we'll have a really funny story to tell. Like, so it's,
cool.
Which makes me think of the guy that does the Blippy. Right, I don't know if y'all have kids.
Oh yeah.
The Blippy guy,
Harlem Shuffler or whatever.
Right,
it was.
Like it's right. That's what we know. That's all we know him for. His poop antics.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I wish I only knew him for that and not Blippy. To be honest.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Top 20 board. So Mike wanted to know more about our top 20 board.
Yeah.
So when we had top 20, we decided we were going to go with kind of a we can't figure this out model. So what we said is, you know what? As we play games, let's just throw them up on this metal board, and we'll rank them when we play them in that moment, how we felt that month, and we'll update it each month. Right. And then we added some rules to it such that you can't move a game just because you feel different about it. You have to have actually played the game again in order to move that game.
You can move it up or down or off the list or whatever you want.
If you were brave like Wayne in 2024, he started the year off
Captain
Sonar as his number one. And I'm like, Wayne, that's a bit much, bro. Like that's
against like Brass and all the other games that you're probably going to play this year, Captain Sonar?
I thought maybe he had only played Captain Sonar so far. So.
That happens too. We had a big game day in January, and it was I based my ranking on how much I enjoyed that play. And so we had a full game of Captain Sonar with Beans and Dice crew and people that we know from the Tampa area, and it was a laugh riot because people were arguing and it was just funny.
Oh, it's so good.
It was a great experience. So I would rank number one. It eventually worked its way off of my list as I played other games and ranked them higher. But it was at that moment was a great play. And what I love about this list is it's not like top 100 all time, not top 10 all time. It's the games you play in 2025. So it could be old games, new games, whatever. And you rank it. And then as the year goes on, it gets harder and harder to go, well, do I want to play this game above everyone else or below? So it's kind of like a live rankings each month as we update as the games we play. So
yeah, that's awesome.
And so just to clarify too, after you play it and you rank it, you have to kind of pick your spot, right? Like you're saying, hey, Captain Sonar's my 5. Hopefully I'll play 4 better than this one.
Right. Yeah. So like next month I play Brass Birmingham. I put Brass Birmingham at number 1 and it knocks Captain Sonar down 1, right? Type thing. You ever
watched Top Gear? Anybody Top Gear at all? They have the fastest lap, right? So they have this metal board with that magnetic strips, and as the cars, the celebrities drive the cars, they get fastest lap, right? And it's kind of where I got the idea was, as we play games, we're going to put them on this board and we're going to move them around based on where they insert themselves, and it just feels good. Something very tactile about magnetic tape, metal magnet board, and Sharpie.
It looks like a giant tray.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
It's an oil tray from O'Reilly's.
There you go.
And my wife gave me that idea. Again, shout out to Mrs. Cabrera. She's a teacher. She used these metal pans with magnets in the classroom for the kids.
Okay.
So I was like, I bought 2 of them right then and there.
Yep.
That's why
you guys won those in a charity event.
Hey, does it count as charity if Bob spends like a lot of time at like shelters for single mothers,
but he's not allowed within 500 feet of a school, right?
Well, that's true too. That's why he's got to go there.
Yeah.
I saw the beans and dice question come up. That's probably the most common question we get is how did the name beans and dice? And that's a pretty quick, easy answer here. Carlos and I had a love of food, and his Puerto Rican background. Big fan, and I've always been a big fan of just beans and rice. And so when we started the show, this guy is the Puerto Rican. He's the beaner, and I am the white guy. So it was natural that I was the dice. So the two of us starting the show, it was beans and dice, just to kind of tie in the food thing, tie in the cultural backgrounds, and to bring it all back home to board gaming.
Big joke,
right.
Rob doesn't
I'm the
like
beans.
dice and games. He likes strategic games.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
I'm the beans, and he's the rice because he's white and salty.
White and salty? Yeah, a little bit.
To bring this thing full circle, I updated my name over here, so it's Beans and Rice.
There you go.
That's my
This
last
is-
name.
Name,
So
right.
here we are.
Mike, you're gonna have to do a lot more charity work. Get on the show, bro. You're not gonna.
Yeah, I
They're
gotta
not
up
just
the
gonna
game.
invite you over.
Yeah. So apparently Mike has abandoned the people.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
somebody add a new square, Mike Panders, to their bingo card.
Usually that's Tim's job.
Yeah, I can scratch my name out. Just write Mike's in.
Mhm.
Hold on. Let me see how many more subs we've added to their channel.
There you go.
We got
That's
3
good.
so far.
There we go.
Nice. We'll take them.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's 2 Rossies and maybe Jazz. I don't know. That's.
Well.
Let's get into this. Unless you guys got more stuff, let's get into these.
No,
lists.
No,
top
let's
five.
get into
Let's
the
do
top
it.
5 list.
Yeah.
Now, we want to make y'all feel the way we feel when we do the show. We really want to bring this beans and dice and
Do
just
it.
like lay it on you, right? So what that means is we would open up the phone lines and do this all at the same time.
So we get
right? So
interrupted.
you're going to get interrupted. You're going to have to remember where you were, kind of continue the conversation, and let folks kind of drive this. So if you're willing to risk it, I'm willing to open up this phone line for the people, pandering again, for the
I
people.
like this.
Yeah.
guys.
Typically, what we do is we say you call in, the show is yours for 10 minutes or so. So we
Yep.
try to pre-tell people
5.
you have about 10 minutes.
Yep. 5 minutes maybe. And
5
but,
minutes, 10
yeah,
minutes, yeah.
talk about whatever you want. You can be on topic, off topic. We talk about everything on our show. We go into comic books, we go into TV shows we're watching, just people call and we just talk about whatever. So yep.
And don't be surprised if nobody calls. That also happens.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Some nights.
That's fine too. No, I mean we get derailed all the time. That's sort of a running joke with us. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mind.
Squirrel.
I'm
Fit right in.
here for it.
Nice.
I like being on my feet. You know, like let's just. I don't like having a script and going off of a script. You know, like if I want to do
That's
that,
my man
I'll do
right there.
theater.
That's
Like,
my
I
man.
wanna-
That's that
I
guy.
want to rock and roll, man. I just want to
Chaos.
dance. Yeah, chaos
I
agent.
don't read from any of the scripts. So.
Yeah.
I think Bob is an AI.
Good job.
He's not real.
We just had that conversation on the show. Yeah.
Tim, when you say you like to be on your feet, do you mean like the boxes you had to stand on for Pop Culture Jeopardy?
2 of them. Hey.
Man, Mike's just checking all of Tim's boxes tonight.
Listen, I don't have to talk about Pop Culture Jeopardy. I don't have to pander.
But now you have to talk about Alaska.
Oh yeah, Alaska,
It's cold.
awesome. It looks like Alaska outside right now. We got
It
what,
does a
about an
little
inch of
bit.
snow.
Yeah.
We were 85 today, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Man.
it's hot. My AC's kicking on right now.
I
AC
love
can
it.
come and let a dog
I
in
love
back
that.
inside. Good thing.
So
Yeah,
talk
our-
about the,
All right.
Oh, that's Pablo 42 from
There we
Beans and
go. That's a
Dice.
Beans and Dice
Hey,
guy.
that's
There
you
another
go.
crossover.
Jumping in.
This is
I like it.
beautiful.
There we go. We got a couple.
Seen that name.
Pablo Jackie Robinson, as I call him.
Nice.
so
Oh, I get it. 42.
42,
There
yeah.
you go. You got it.
Took me a sec.
So top 5 family games I think it'd be interesting because I think we came from somewhat different angles because Rob has older kids that are in college and around that, and Carlos has everything from college age to like in diapers still.
From diapers to diapers. Yes.
and I have one that's 10, so like we kind of approach family games somewhat different, you know, as far as our viewpoint of what we consider family games. So
Yeah.
that's at least amongst us. I'm sure you guys probably something similar, right?
Well, Bob doesn't have a relationship with any of his kids, so he only plays games with his nieces.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I got
don't
2 kids. What 13 and oh my god 8. They're getting so old now.
There you go.
Um, But
I got a cheat code, which is an uncle who's only 3 years older than me that got me into the hobby.
Ah.
So sometimes when I feel like cheating, I'll mention that Anachrony was like the last game I showed him that he loved, but I didn't cheat. These are all family weight games.
Family games.
Um,
Okay.
Well, Mike was sort of like a surrogate stepdad for a few years, so he had some experience with that.
Yeah.
All right,
Mine range from 21 to 15 months. I got 5 of them, so I figure there's a weighting to this, right? So like my review, my review that I give these games is multiplied by 5, right? So my word has more weight, right? Is that how that works?
See, I've got 3, so 3 to 5, and we'll split
Your
them
number
up.
5 is more like your number 25. Is that what you're trying to say?
Carlos is our Tom. He doesn't know how to stop. You know?
Yeah, just keep cranking
I
them
don't
out.
sleeve my cards.
See, I'm small and angry and Irish, so I'll just overcompensate a whole bunch.
I like it.
So it'll be okay.
There you go.
And I have no method to this list. I'm with Tim. Like I don't have a method. I'm very cult of the recent. However, I felt today is how that list was created. If you ask me next week, it's going to be a totally different list.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
The BGR, right? The numbers don't mean anything, and the
That's right. It's like the
Lists are
scoring
arbitrary.
for whose line, right? Yeah, lists
Oh,
are
yeah.
arbitrary and the numbers don't mean anything.
Yep.
Well, if number of kids is how confident we are in our list for the board game rundown, I was Mike. That was Bob. We'll see you guys next week.
Look, Mike tucked tail and ran. Oh.
He's out.
No.
This is how we
No
brown
kids,
people take
that's-
over.
roundabout way.
What can Brown do for you?
I love it. I love it. All right, Mike,
All right.
you gonna throw up a little banner or what are you doing?
We can do that. So as usual, we'll start with Bob, and then we'll go clockwise, and I'll wrap it
Mike
up.
will round it out.
Okay.
Starting with Bob's number 5.
So my number 5 is a fun little all-play box. It's called Mountain Goats. It's rolling dice, climbing up the hills. It's just a fun one I play with my nieces and my family, and just about anybody I have come over. It's a great little filler game. It's kind of funny because I bought a whole bunch of those small all-play boxes at one time off a Kickstarter. I didn't play them, and then somebody taught me Mountain Goats. I was like, wait, I've got this game at home, and I haven't stopped playing it since then. So yeah, Mountain Goats, there it is.
My man.
Crazy is you can get the 5th player expansion to fit all in that same little.
It's
tank.
in here.
Yeah,
The green guy. I love the green pieces because then it lets me say gringo.
Gringo.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Great pick, Bob.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
We bust this one out quite a bit when we only got like 20 minutes or we're waiting on somebody.
Yep.
Or it's the end of the night and I'm trying to go home and West is like, come on, we haven't played Mountain Goats yet. And then we got to play.
Yeah.
There you go. I just started playing
One
on a Board
more.
Game Arena. It's on there now.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on. This is one I could handle on Board Game Arena. For whatever reason, my brain doesn't translate.
To like racing games at all.
Not online. Like if we're sitting at a table, awesome. But the BGA playing Heat on BGA has made me want to trade my physical copy away. Hate this
For
damn
sure.
game.
The maths are so hard.
I'm with you.
Anyways, yeah, that was a great pick. That was a
Tim's
great
number
pick.
5. Heat.
My number 5. Nice and easy, right? We kind of like brushed on it earlier. I went with the most simple version, most pure version of this game, and that is Rhino Hero. It's just a fun, goofy game, right? Like, so most of the games that I have on my list, I play with my kids, but I've also played with adults at conventions. Rhino Hero was one of the first games I took. I used to go to Wizard World in Chicago all the time, comic book convention with like a group of friends before we started doing the board game stuff. But I always had like this board game collection, but I could never get these non-gamers to play. But we sit there and be drinking having a bunch of drinks, like out in the lobby, and there's like all these B-level celebrities, like Mankind and X-Pac walking around. And, we just sit out there and we play Rhino Hero and then talk to anybody that comes up, to talk to us and get other people to play. Super fun game, but I also play with my kids, and they have a great time. The rules are very easy. It's very straightforward. And if they knock it down, well, screw it. We just play again. You just keep going. So Rhino Hero is perfect. It's a great little hobby game. I would love to get the jumbo version of it. I've seen it one time at a convention, and we were playing it. We were literally standing on chairs to like place the top, the cards up there. Bob, you were there, weren't you?
Not with the jumbo ones. No, when I played it with you, it was with Pete and them when we were down in IndyCon. No.
Yeah, there was an IndyCon. You must not have come to that one, but there was an IndyCon where somebody had a jumbo one, and
Gotcha.
we were playing it. And it was getting rowdy. So, yeah, Pablo.
Tim, you were getting rowdy. I don't believe it.
I know. I'm always the quiet guy at the table.
Yeah.
Mountain goats, tumbling dice. Oh, tumbling dice is my other white whale. Oh shit. Anyways, Rhino Hero. Yeah, top that, Wayne. Literally, you got to go next.
I don't have a top. That's a good one. Rhino Hero Super Battle is one that regularly gets played with me. I think I was going to start my list because I need a praise B to start off my list.
Oh,
so I'm going to go with Barron Park for my number 5. I love Phil Walker Harding games. Actually, we play a ton of his games in our house because they're always accessible. And this one's probably the one that we get to the table most often as my family. Love the polyomino placement of it. You can make it more complicated with the expansion, so it can go from younger kids all the way, up. You can play with or without the special scoring tiles, so you can kind of customize the weight or complexity of the game depending on what sort of family makeup you're playing with. So this is one that regularly gets hit to the table with my family. So gotta have a Phil Walker Harding on the list because his games are very accessible.
Praise be.
Yep.
I hate that I've never played this. I've always wanted to, and I love polyomino games.
It's a good one. Good pick.
Yep. So,
all right, my number 5 for me is Underdog Games, trekking through history.
Which one?
There's a pause there, right?
Trekking through what?
I was gonna start with that one because
Which one?
Did you have it higher on your list? I'll wait.
No.
Right,
You stole it. I got to kick it off my list now. It's fine.
Is that how that works? Whoever puts it lower? Okay. We're only going to 5. It's in my top 5 right there.
Yeah.
I know that you're probably thinking, okay, with Carlos having a lot of young ones too, I would pick a lot of smaller games, but I'm all about picking the games that fit a wide range of family. Trekking Through History does this really well. I think the biggest thing that I'll say about this game compared to all the other trekking through quote unquote games is the compact size of this game. This game it's condensed. It's a small neoprene mat that comes there. You're only playing one set of cards at a time. Everything else can be tucked away. So it's a small footprint. Any family without Holmes giant game table, right, can play this game at their kitchen table, which is what I think the gaming industry has lost, is the ability for people to be able to play games on a normal kitchen table. So my number 5, Trekking Through History.
Nice.
Yeah, I love this game. I love all the Underdog games. That could be my 1 through 5 is just Underdog games because as far as family games, they hit because I'm an educator. So using these to play with my 10-year-old and teach while we're playing, it gamifies education for him. So I love these games.
They don't know they're learning.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Stick it in there. I just kept this one off my list because I knew you two were going to definitely have it. So I figured I would just stay away from the trekking games. Yeah, but good pick.
Nice work.
My number 5 is actually a game that Carlos got me into this hobby, this wonderful hobby of board gaming. Probably, we're pushing 20 years ago. Again, we met at the insurance company, and my wife was in training with him at the same time. They got into the same department. I came over. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I'm sure the first time I came over to your house,
because we had small kids, so we're like, let's let the kids play together. And I'm like, how do I show my geek? At the time, my shelf was very small.
Yeah,
it was a very small shelf. I kind of kept it hidden. I was like, unzip, let it out.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, I don't want to scare this guy, but
yeah. I got some board games.
And it's
want to play?
Whip this out.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason I tell that story is because one of the very first games he taught me and taught my family, and we played tons with the kids when they were younger, is King of Tokyo. Just a great dice chucking game. King of the Hill, take down the monster, get into Tokyo, wreak as much damage as you can. Hopefully, when you get down to a little bit of health, back out, heal back up, and do it all again. If you're playing just for points, you're not doing it right. It's so much fun when you can just take everybody down, take everybody completely out of the game, so you can win either by getting up to, I think it's 10 points, or just by eliminating, or 20 points, or eliminating everybody else's health. And this game is with the graphics, the little monsters that you put in and out of Tokyo on the board, and the dice chucking, the big oversized dice that you're rolling, trying to match up symbols, kind of Yahtzee style. King of Tokyo is one that's close to my heart. Our family plays it anytime. One of our favorites by far.
Nice.
That is absolute stellar pick. Had that written down. Wasn't sure that it would make it, but it was one of my alternates.
Sweet.
That game is legit. And I don't care. I'll play that game anytime. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I've even played in tournaments of this at Dice Tower East. Had a tournament one year. Me and my son got in and played on that. My son actually beat me and went on to the finals and won a copy of it there. So it was really
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And again, you're right? Like the push your luck. Like there's so many like sneaky fun mechanics in that game. You know, and yeah, playing for points, get out of here. Like I'm trying to take, I just want to crush you.
Take everybody's head off. Yeah. King of Tokyo.
Don't forget, folks, phone lines are still open, 813-618-7099. Do you want to be the first caller ever on the Board Game Rundown call-in show? Call in right now, 813-618-7099.
Don't be shy. Drop us a line. Let's go.
That's right. Okay, I'm gonna go back to one that I remember playing as a kid, and I believe my parents sold this in a garage sale at one point, and then I just saw it sitting at Goodwill because you'll always find this sitting at a Goodwill. So I bought an old 1980s copy of Taboo.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Sometimes there's just nothing more fun than just shouting a bunch of words. I don't know. That's what I end up doing in this game. But everybody probably remembers this one, but just in case, you got to get everybody to guess that word up at the top, but you can't say these words underneath the line. And of course, they are all the most obvious words. So you got to be a little bit creative. And so if you name one of those words, somebody has a fun little buzzer that they get to buzz you. And that's half the fun, hitting that buzzer and making somebody lose a point because they got to discard the card and start on a new card. Love Taboo. I've been playing this one for decades. So I was like, why not?
My copy from the 90s.
That buzz, like it still gives me PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
And you know,
It's one of the games my sister will still play.
Yeah, you know, it's great when so many other games have kind of taken the same idea and just putting little twists on them, and it just keeps coming out over and over and over
Just
again.
one is clearly, like an iteration. Yeah.
Yep.
I think my favorite part about Taboo is my wife and I have been together since we were like 16 and 17 at the roller rink. And we play against other couples, right? And we effectively had our whole adult life together.
Yeah.
Right? I said like Sonny Bono, and she's like Pine Tree.
Okay,
she got it.
That is my
Too
kind
soon?
of humor.
I might guess
Too
that
soon?
is Sonny Bono.
Never too soon. That's
Taboo
so good.
Uncensored
Oh,
from
snap.
2023.
Oh, After Dark.
Oh,
Of
snap.
course.
Mike, scoop it.
Of course. Dive bar.
Hot mess. My ex. Oh.
I saw a newer version of this, and they don't have like the battery operated buzzer anymore. It's like
I think
It's
Dave
like a
just
little-
mentioned it too. Yeah.
almost like a whoopee cushion where you just
Feel a horn.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Wow, really?
exactly.
Terrible
Not
squeaky
as cool.
toy. Yeah.
I need to pull out my copy and record it to the soundboard. Like make
just put it
that
on there.
make that
There you
our
go.
wrong buzzer.
Yeah.
Eh.
Very cool.
Nice.
Taboo.
Oh,
All
I don't know
right.
if we shared that. Black Edition of King of
okay.
Tokyo.
Nice.
I still have mine in
there you go.
shrink.
Yeah.
I'm with Stefan on that one. I want to play it, but it's the black edition. Now what's weird is the box is just like a little bit bigger. I don't get it.
Yeah, it is slightly bigger. Where is mine at? It's
I get that a lot.
I got what you did there. It's way bigger. It's way
It took him
bigger.
a minute, but they got
The
it.
brown one's little though. No?
Joke grenade.
Brown one's little. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
call in.
All right.
I am 12. Call in, please. Call in.
Derail this, please, for the love of God.
All right, back to
number
Bob
4.
for number 4.
All right. So for my number 4, I love drawing games. My family loves to play drawing games. We played a bunch of them growing up. And for those that don't know, my mom is Portuguese, so English is her second language. Her spelling is not great. So when she's trying to spell what somebody has horribly drawn past to her, it leads to a bunch of shenanigans. And so Telestrations is always a hit. We play with big groups at like Origins, but then I take it to family night and we play this game. And oh my gosh, like, she doesn't realize that, a suite, like a box you might sit in, has an end. So she's writing suit and you're trying to guess it. And it's just hilarious. And then you get the After Dark version to play with your adult friends. and that leads to Tim drawing, Kermit the Frog with a penis, and it's a good time.
Listen,
I was
if
the
that's
only one that did
literally
that.
what's on the card, then that's what you got to draw, man.
Well, gotta do it. Maybe do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. We actually, I was at a sort of like a weekend with some friends. Also, again, not gamers, right? Same Comic-Con people, and but we do play Telestrations After Dark, which that just turns into shenanigans like the whole time, right? It's just everybody trying to outdo each other, a race to the bottom.
Yeah, has to. Mm.
Which is also like a party at Bob's. A
Right.
race to the bottom. Hey, all right.
Well, Bob, you stole one of mine, but I knew somebody would pick this one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Telestrations. Right on.
Yeah.
Worthy. Okay, so my number 4. Who published this? I gotta look. I pulled this one out because I was like, I haven't played this in a minute, but my kids and I used to love this game. Playco Games. This was a really fun kind of, I don't know if it's push your luck or not, but it's called Epic Monster Tea Party. And what it is you're all these monsters and you're reaching into this bag, and there's these hero meeples are in this black bag. That's the labyrinth. And you're gonna pull out a monster or a hero, and you can either put them in your teacup, which you can then drink at the end of the game for points, or you can squish them and you get like a one-time ability. And so you're trying to get these. Yeah, there's those guys trying to get they got a point value on there. So, they give you like cool things to do. And you can use these guys for different things, stealing other people's points, things like that. We'll see you later. Thanks for showing up. We'll catch you on the recap. But yeah, anyways, Epic Monster Tea Party. You're just pulling out, you blind draw a meeple out of the bag, and then you figure out what you want to do with it. Because even if you try to put it in your teacup for points, it may not stay there, right? Because you can do things to sabotage other people's teacups. Cute little game. We picked it up at, I believe we got it at Geekway to the West, and got a lot of miles out of this game with both grown-ups and especially Mallory, my oldest. She really loved this game for a while.
Does this qualify as a Tim hipster pick? Because I'm not sure any of us have heard of that.
Listen,
I never heard of it.
Anybody heard of that game?
No.
No.
Unintentional.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. And
Unintentional hipster pick.
Qualifies.
Bingo, maybe.
Do we have to drink every time he pulls a hipster game? No.
Yes.
Oh.
Refill.
How's your liver?
Drink every Wednesday.
Salud.
Sláinte. All right, yeah, that's mine. I will pass the turn.
Pass it down here. Yeah. So my number 4 is from 1982. It's a game that plays well with my family of 3, but we bring it to a lot of holidays because it can play up to 6, and it's always a raucous occasion, especially when you tip someone's boat over and eat their meeples with the shark, and it's Survive Escape from Atlantis.
Yes.
Nice.
Great
That's
game.
one. Yeah. It's light enough that non-gamers can pick it up pretty easy, and it's just chaotic fun. And so it's especially at Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, you're sitting around playing that game. People are always, why did you do that? Or you're always yelling back and forth. So it's a classic game. Again, with the expansion, you can play up to 6, and there's sea monsters and the sharks and whales and dolphins and tons of cool things you can do. And this idea that you have to get your meeple off the island and get it to the corner of the board to score points. And there's always people you absolutely forget on the bottom of the meeple is the numbers, which is their victory point total. And I could never remember where I put my 6 and my 1, and I end up moving guys that are So it's a fun game. Love the chaos of it. Always ends up well as a family game for us.
Yeah, lots of fun chaos. My memory is bad, not so good. So I hate memory games, but this was one that's fun just because you can run the little monsters around, eat other little people's meeples, and it's always a fun feeling. So yeah.
Well, again, right? Same rules as King of Tokyo. If you're really trying to win this game with the most points, you're kind of doing it wrong.
Yep,
So
eat the most meeples. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're into my number 4. I love this topic. I love the idea of these family games. It really reminds me of, like y'all said, when your parents and playing games at home, right? You get your favorite snacks together and get a game night going. We'd have Oreos. We'd be dunking them in water, because we're still waiting for my dad to come home with the milk.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. He never came home.
Never came home. My number 4.
Hey, wait, is this the black edition too, or is this?
It is the brown and black edition. My number 4 is another hope to steal from Wayne. We'll see if I get it. I think I'm 1 for 1 right
Oh, you're
now.
just trying now.
I know he's gonna hit a bunch of mine, I'm sure.
Yeah, when you all told me about the steal mechanism, I'm like, okay, now I got to steal
Now
from
it's a
Wayne.
game within a game.
Yeah, game of
Draftosaurus.
Oh,
Draftosaurus,
this was
Wayne.
on my list. This was on my
Did I
list.
get it, Wayne? Did I get it?
Yeah,
My man, look at this.
It was on my short list. It was honorable
That's it.
mention.
That's all I had to say. Draftosaurus. It's on Wayne's list, so I stole it.
You're done.
No, much like what Tim was talking about, pulling chits or pieces from a bag. It's a lot of fun. It's very tactile. It's gamers who played store-bought games. They weren't introduced to this mechanism, so they're kind of shocked at this idea. And then teaching them drafting. This is a wonderful way to teach your family the idea about drafting. And then it also has that flip and fill, roll and write feeling without having pencils and papers and dice. So they get almost like a Yahtzee feel, all combined in a fast 15-20 minute game. Draftosaurus by Antoine Bauza, the man Antoine Bauza. Draftosaurus, my number 4.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
I love you,
great.
Dad.
Wherever you are.
This is a good one because this is one that my brother and his kid. My brother, his older kids are all college age and they're not gamers, and they've come down and we played this, and he's been like, "Where do I get this now? Because this is a fun game. We got to play this." So this is a game that anybody can grok.
Yeah, we played this as a filler at a bunch of our game days. Just if you got a few people and you need to get a quick game in while somebody else is finishing up a game, somebody's got a copy of Draftosaurus, you can pull that out and play it real quick. Yeah. Good pick.
That's great. That's great. Before I really challenge anyone right now to call in and disrupt Mike, because Mike loves getting interrupted. So please, if you're gonna call and you're gonna be the first one, let Mike get 4 words into his thing and then just interrupt him. That'd be amazing.
All right, well, Carlos just hit on a drafting game. My number 4 is also a drafting game, basically just a deck of cards, and this one is Sushi Go.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Great pick.
Yeah. Set collection. Got some little mechanisms in there that kind of change up the game depending on what you're doing. You can do some little hate drafting in this one. I always I'm kind of known in our group as being the guy who kind of likes to mess with people, kind of likes to stab somebody in the back if I get a chance. I love my worker placement where they're not friendly worker spots. They got to be blocking each other. That's my favorite worker placement. But in this one, you've got a drafting game. You got the choice: do what's best for you, or you're going to pass those cards to the next person. There's open information each time you draft a card. You flip it up so that everybody can see kind of what you're going for, what sets you're trying to collect. So you've got to weigh that in the back of your mind. If you're trying to play this competitively, you're trying to win the game. You're going to be looking at what you're trying to do as much as what the person next to you is trying to do and mess them up as well. But Sushi Go, fun game. I played this with all age levels, young to old, and it's easy to teach. It's a quick play, and I find we reset this game and play it over and over and over sometimes. And all the multiple versions. There's the Spin Some for Dim Sum we were big fans of. That was a fun one with a little squishy in it that's really appeals to the kids. But they've got about 5, 6. They've got Party now. All different versions of this game are fun.
Has anybody ever played this game so poorly that you were accused of hate drafting and it's really you're just bad at it?
Just doing it right.
Asking for a friend. Asking
In
for
Blood
a friend.
Rage. Yes,
Asking
in
for
Blood
a
Rage.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Tim, you didn't even need that card. I know.
Don't forget the pudding.
Yeah, pudding.
Pudding.
Can't
a good
forget that pudding.
Yeah, because how can you have any meat if you don't eat your pudding?
Has to be grabbing that sushi.
Chester does sound like a sushi grabber. I'm just gonna say it.
I tell you what, man, he is, the puns are strong with that one.
Oh yeah, always.
And he's called in once, right? I think once.
Maybe once, yeah.
Maybe once. Yeah. But most of the time it's just from start to finish, 2 hours of just puntastic fun
in the
with
chat.
Chester
Yeah.
in the chat.
That's the best.
Excellent.
That's the
I'm
best.
here for it. All right. My number 4, we're gonna go a little bit more modern now. I grew up in the Midwest with a family that loved to play euchre all the time. And so trick taking goodness, and I decided to see what other trick takers I could get my family to play. Ooh,
There we go.
You hear that?
phone
You hear that?
call.
You got
Here
4 words.
on the show.
Tim did it.
Nice.
Yes.
No one wants to hear about your trick taking, Mike.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Chris from Indy.
Yay, Chris!
Hey, Chris.
Chris.
We know Chris.
You're officially the first caller
It's a
for the
call-in
board
show.
game rundown call-in show.
There you
Chris
go.
understood the assignment.
You did. Well
Making
done.
it happen. What's going on?
Since Tim asked so nicely for me to call and interrupt Bob, or Mike rather,
There you go.
how are you guys doing?
And it was perfect. Like the timing was spot on. Mid-sentence, we forgot
well
what
done.
even he was saying.
It's so good. It's so good.
Very well done.
Chris is a member of my sister's game group, and we kind of started to steal him and bring him up to South Bend for some of our game events and stuff. And he can be found demoing games at the Gen Con booth for Arcane Wonders normally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, based on the Beans and Dice rules, if you call in, the show is yours for the next 10 minutes. You direct the conversation however you want it. What do you got going on, Chris?
Wow, that's a lot of pressure. I don't know. I'm a big board game fan, and I love family games. So, I mean, this is a great topic for me. I play a lot of games with the family get-togethers and whatnot. So,
All right, so what are your go-to games? So Thanksgiving is coming. The family says we're having dinner, right? What are you throwing in the bag for Family Day?
so we're probably grabbing Illustrations, of course. I think I already said that.
Yep.
But Toy Kittens is always a good one.
Yeah.
Nice and light and easy. Trying to think. We do concepts sometimes. We like party games like that. We've got a big family, so we always need something. Scout's a good one. We've played that a number of times.
Scout's good.
Have y'all gotten into the Flip 7 yet?
Yes, we played that last time I was down there. I think Tim and those guys. Last time you guys were down at your sister's house, I think we played that there.
Yeah, because I've seen the rundown do it on the show live, which has been great to watch. And the
we
fact that this
copied it.
game can play as many people as you want, depending on how many copies you have.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to go ahead and use Bob's setup and play it right now.
There you go.
Fuck Mike's list.
Curveball.
All right, Chris, we'll wrap it up for the call. Any final questions for us here?
No, I think I'm good, but I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
I'll call in and just kind of poke my nose in, say hi to you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for calling,
You
Chris.
understood the assignment.
He
You
did.
made it a call-in show.
And
Without
from
you,
now on,
it would not be a call-in show.
from now on, you are in the annals of Board Game Rundown history. You are the
That is
first
true.
Number
live
one.
call-in.
Forever memorial.
Achievement to you.
Well done.
Yes, Chris is
All right,
one
I'll
of the
talk to you
many
later,
that
guys.
has been in Bob's annals.
Oh. On that note, thanks, Chris.
Love you, Chris. See you later. See you at IndyCon.
Is that what you meant by race to the bottom?
Annals? Yep.
Listen, man. It means what you want it to mean. It's-
Oh, Donnie's got to go with no thanks.
Phone lines are back open, 813-618-7099. That was Chris from Indiana calling in.
Thanks.
So
All right.
we're gonna test
number 3
Tim's poll here, and I'm actually gonna switch my pick. Since
Oh,
I
these
didn't
people
actually
understood
have
the
the
assignment.
Oh,
They're coming in hard.
I'm gonna switch my pick. We're gonna see if I
No,
can
there's
get it in
another
the
call
round.
coming in, Mike.
Go right
Just-
ahead.
Mike,
Just
there's
like a
another call
party
coming
at
in.
Bob's house, they are coming in hard. Beans and Dice podcast. I'm sorry, board game rundown call-in show. State your name, where you're calling from.
It's Jazz from Mishawaka.
Jazz from Mishawaka. Welcome to the show. As we say on Beans and Dice, next 10 minutes is yours. You are the host of the show. What you got going on?
Just calling just to fuck with the guys. I was like a few seconds too late right behind Chris, so it was funny.
No, it worked out great because right after he started his thought process again, you hit him again.
Got him again.
Yeah, Jazz, you hit him so hard.
I'm usually pretty good at that.
He had to change his list, and now he's going to forget what he was going to do now, and he's going to have a different pick. So keep
right.
going. It's great.
Yes, great.
I love that.
Gotta keep it entertaining, right?
Yes, Jazz, you just moved up in the on my favorites list. That
Yeah.
was well done.
So Jasmine,
I'm usually pretty good at that.
yeah. Well, hey, you've kind of recently been getting more and more into board games, and of the board games that we've gotten to teach you, which one is your favorite?
I don't take questions from Bob.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
So, Jazz, what would you say like some of your favorite games are now that you're getting into the hobby a little bit?
I don't know. Split 7's kind of fun because it's stupid simple.
Yep.
But probably A Toy Kitten was probably been one of my favorites of the small family game type things.
Mm-hmm.
It's about kittens. I have a cat, and like I love my cat, so it was just kind of funny. And there's pirates and shit, so
yeah,
probably that one.
cat pirates.
Well, if BGG doesn't rate it a 4.0 or better, Rob doesn't put it on his top 20
yeah,
list.
Can't even look at it. What is it
for
rated?
weight
What is it rated?
of the rules.
Oh, right.
What's your heaviest game, Jazz, that you enjoy? Like the game that gets you thinking.
I don't play too many heavy games yet.
It's
I'm
okay.
still pretty
Just
new
the
to
heaviest
hobby.
that you're in. Like game that you played and you're like, wow, there's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot going. It's deeper than I thought.
I mean, does Magic the Gathering count?
Yes,
That's what I was gonna say.
that
100%.
does count. The rule book is small, but all the special rules on each individual card, figuring out how to combo those cards together to make something happen and then be prepared for other people's combos. You can't get any deeper than Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, especially playing with
It's
those
wild.
bozos. Yeah.
You do
Hey,
the
I usually play with
commander.
my own family first. Yeah.
Commander, is that how you normally play?
Yeah, I play Commander.
That seems to be a big hit. Every time I go into Armada games, it seems to be like the cross between like the board game fun and then the head-to-head Magic the Gathering is that Commander style where everyone's wrapped around the table, kind of throwing damage at each other all across the table in different directions. And the laughter that ensues from those games that I watch, it seems like Commander is a great, like almost a board game.
I could see that. I think it also, because of all the other styles, Commander just allows for more room for a lot of other stupid shit. So more people enjoy it.
Just like Bob's Parties.
Hey, yo.
Yeah,
You got it.
pretty much.
Nice.
Bob gets real mad, though, if you try to play Commander in the hot tub, though. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Ooh.
You got to discuss it
I don't
first.
think I'd want to put the cards in your water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carlos and Rob, they love to play Palm Island in the hot tub.
Oh,
Hey.
we've done that.
We have pictures of Rob and I
have done
playing
that.
Palm Island
Now we're
in the
racing
hot
to the
tub.
bottom again.
And that's not a joke. That's real.
that's true.
They're waterproof cards,
Yeah.
and I mean, whatever you throw on them, they don't stain. Like you can, all kinds of stuff can spill on it, and it's
Wipe
not
right
going to
off.
stain. Right, wipes right off.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm sorry, Jazz. Thank you so much for your call. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
I gotta
man.
compliment the guys. They know this.
Jazz,
And they
thanks
also
for understanding
appreciate
the
it.
assignment. Yeah, you got it.
Made it a call-in show.
Somebody had to. Can't have Tim being so desperate.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm
They-
thirsty.
they're desperate, but
I put it out there. It's in my profile. Thirsty AF.
yeah.
Thank you, Jazz. Have a good night.
You as well.
Bye.
Right.
Michiwaka? Did I say that right?
Mishawaka.
Mishawaka.
Mishawaka. Yeah.
Actually, it's pronounced Mishiwaka.
Which is Algonquin.
Thank you, Gar.
I'm sorry. English is
Good
also
man.
not my first language.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah. Swing.
Swing. We're on Bob now, right?
Yeah,
Mike's
yeah.
already landed.
Mike's
We're moving to
done.
Bob.
Mike
Great.
starts
Again,
twice,
we're just going to
actually.
keep getting calls. Yeah. All right, Mike, go ahead.
I'll just switch my pick every time somebody calls in.
We'll never know.
It's true.
All right. So being from the Midwest, growing up playing a lot of euchre, I tried out some trick taking games on the family.
Oh, here it comes again.
Oh, I love our chat.
Always comes through. Who is
Board Game Rundown Podcast or call-in show. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hello. We've been trying to reach you concerning your vehicle's extended warranty. You should have received a notice in the mail about your car's extended warranty eligibility.
Nice.
Since we've not received a response, we're giving you a final courtesy call before we close out your file. Press 2 to be removed and placed on our do not call list. To speak to someone about possibly extending or reinstating your vehicle's warranty, press 1 to speak with a warranty specialist.
Oh, prima, el número dos.
All righty.
Prank calls are the best. Love it.
That's legit. That's so
Yep.
good.
I
That's
don't know
what
who
we-
that
that's-
was. I was trying to identify that voice, man. I was having a hard time.
Yeah, that's what we get to deal with.
I thought that was a real recording. I hung up on it. Was it? Was that a
Oh,
real
no,
person?
That was somebody for real.
That was a real person?
That was
Yes.
a real person.
Oh, I hung up on. I thought it was a recording. That was pretty good.
They were getting ready to talk about their favorite family games. You just hung up the damn
just hung
phone, man.
up
Come
on
on.
it. Mm.
Hey, mad props to whoever's got that. I mean, that's that movie phone voice. Like,
Yeah,
Cassidy.
Somebody had
why
that
don't you
down.
just tell
Call
me
back.
what movie you want to see?
I don't know if these kids that are watching can even understand what movie
Oh, no,
phone
no, that
was.
was-
Yeah, that's a man.
Blast from the past. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you were a real person, call back in.
But wait till Mike starts
Wait till
talking
Mike
again.
starts talking.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So,
See,
Oh,
I was
I,
give
I, I thought that was Yep.
Mhm.
I thought that was a
Rossi, how
person that
dare
was
you.
starting off as a prank. So I'm going to go ahead and segue to our next call by talking about my number 4. So trick taking games, the one that finally worked with my family.
Nope.
Sorry, I was waiting on the call.
No. Dramatic pause. Yep. Nope. It was Dave. Dave Rossi.
Dave, well done,
Dave's the
Dave.
man.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
perfect.
nice
Nice
job.
job.
It's the crew.
Achievement to Dave. Nicely done.
Well done.
Oh,
Indeed.
I was like, I looked for that. What was that?
So the crew is officially my number 4. I do enjoy trick taking games quite a bit. This is still my favorite one. I haven't found one that quite does what this one does as well as it does it. I like the limited communication that you get each turn, where you can communicate what's in your hand. And cooperative trick taking just works for me. I like all the different challenges as you're going through that campaign book.
Yep.
I like how different some of those feel. They're not always just, hey, get this player to win the trick that has this card in it. I like the ones that say, hey, find someone that will not win a trick for the entire round. Some of those, I like jumping. After you've played this enough, you kind of jump ahead and just pick the scenario you feel like playing.
Yep.
Mission Deep Sea is just as good, if not better. Some of those
Mhm.
missions are a little bit more nuanced, but I love this game. And I had a blast playing this with my parents many, many times.
Great pick. Great pick. Cooperative trick taking. It was. I'm sure there's some that did it before, but this definitely was the one that took it to a new level.
I think I got to take your advice on this, Mike. Like I'm one that cannot. My ADD brain just doesn't allow me to finish a campaign. So I don't think I've ever gone past maybe 12
Yeah, about 12,
missions.
13. Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
And I do it
Same.
with different people, like over and over again, the same 12 missions. So I think I'm going to take
Yeah.
your advice and I'm just going to jump to the next mission.
You have to. Like, if I'm teaching somebody new, like, I'm going to start with 1 card and then 2 cards and then 3 cards. And then once they get the gist, all right, let's speed ahead here. Let me show you how fun this can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how far ahead do you have to go for it to turn into a fun game?
Good game.
Is my question.
Go.
Um,
I think I just like competitive trick taking games
Yeah.
because the 3 now cooperative trick taking games I have not really found that.
Mhm.
I'm hearing this
appealing.
Lord of the Rings one.
Oh.
That's supposed to be it. That's legit.
I was going to throw that out there. I think it's trying to be the crew and fails.
Ooh,
Really?
okay. Nice.
I enjoyed that.
Tell me how you
flavor
really
better.
feel.
I enjoyed the Lord of the Rings flavor better.
I it's funny because I have enjoyed the Lord of the Rings one better than I did either version of the crew, but I still am very mid on the game. I mean, it took us, what did it take us, 6, 7 missions
Missions
in for it
before
to
it got
kind of get
hard.
interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually did this a couple of
Way
years
better.
ago it's on BGA, and we played it on BGA on Discord with a bunch of BGA people. Like every Tuesday we'd get on and talk be in a voice chat, video share type thing, and just playing it on BGA live BGA play type thing, and it worked pretty well.
Trevor, I grew up in the hood, and so I didn't play euchre.
Spades.
We played spades, baby.
Oh, yeah.
And
Spades, man.
Spades.
it was a dynamite spades player. Not gonna lie.
I didn't know you did jail time.
Bob, if
Spring
you'd
break,
seen the neighborhood I lived
1997.
in, you would have known.
We play a lot of. I'm originally from New York, so we played a lot of spades. Yeah.
Growing up in Puerto Rico, we have briscas. Brisca is a team game. Can be played individual for 1, 2, 2, 3 players. But when you play it 4, it's a team game. That's how I'm used to playing trick taking.
Nice.
Phone lines are open, 813-618-7099. You missed it. Mike already went. So if you want to wait about another 10 minutes.
Back around the table here.
I mean, you can interrupt whoever you want to, but it's way funnier if you do it to Mike.
Absolutely.
It is.
I could just picture a little like angry character emoji in his head going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that inside out anger character. Kind of looks like Mike anyways.
All right, back to Bob for number 3.
All right. So my number 3 is one of the first kind of dice chuckers, other than Yahtzee, that I taught my parents. They really enjoyed it, so much so that I bought them the large deluxe version to keep in their camper. But Quicks is a very easy to learn dice chucking game. Even being colorblind, I have no issues with the colors. The deluxe version has like the more difficult side on the back side where you has like the different patterns and whatnot. So if you're getting a little bored of the easy side, you can change it up a little bit. But then it's also one of those games where you're doing something on everybody's turn. So you're never just kind of like sitting around. Like you're watching everybody's roll because those white dice are going to pertain to you no matter whose roll it is. And I enjoy games like that because people aren't just waiting around for their turn to show up. Everybody's involved every turn. So,
do you find the backside typically to be harder than the other side? Just checking. Asking for a friend.
Yeah. I mean, now again, we race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Great
Just
pick.
checking.
I've played this at the bar. I've played this at the airport terminal waiting for a flight. I used to just take this game everywhere. It's so small. You can tuck a little pencil or a pen inside that box, and it goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game.
The deluxe ones, while the box is bigger, those dice are nice and big and chunky, and so as the parents get older, it's easy for them to see. You don't have to squint so hard and whatnot. So
yeah, great pick. That's a good one. All right. Mine isn't near as hipster as some of the other ones that I've had so far. This was from Amigo Games. It's a hand shedding game, super fun, and it's Llama. You're basically just trying to play your cards in like sequential order or whatever, and then you play a llama. We always made a big deal about yelling llama when we played one. And so, I mean, my kids love this. The only problem I ever had playing this was because they loved it so much, like I had to not freak out too much if my kids were like just holding the cards a little tighter than I like, like, come on, like we don't got to bend these cards, right? We can just hold them nicely. But no, honestly, this game's so just simple, light, fun, goofy theme, right? Like my wife will play this, my kids will play this. We just sit down and we're loud at the table and have a great time. And because you're trying not to get points, right? And I forget, it's like you get to like 20 points and you lose or something like that. There's also a llama dice game, super fun as well. But yeah, llama is what we usually yell when we play a llama card. And it's great. It's fun and it's really easy.
Nice. It's good.
So real quick, Andrew, I wanted to address this. So I don't think it's a Midwest thing. I think like you're kind of on that borderline. Pinochle is more towards like the East Coast and New England because I played it a lot, like upstate New York, and my parents still play it quite a bit. But as you start to get more to the Midwest, Michigan, it becomes euchre and spades and things like that. So I think that, but being in Ohio, I think you're right on that line where you kind of get maybe exposed to both of them. So
geography with board game rundown.
It is pretty cool to see like the trick taking game that is popular in various sort of.
I met a guy from Detroit at work, and he taught me euchre. I taught him Briska, and then he's like, "Oh, you think that's good? Let me bring you some euchre." The guy from Detroit, and that was a good time.
Detroit.
Yeah. Euchre's fun. Spades is better. Spades. I always like spades a little better because we were always drinking when we played spades, and the trump is always the same, so nothing ever changes.
Yeah. You don't lose track of what's trump.
Yeah, it's very easy. Just keep track of everything.
Wait, what was trump?
Yeah. Right.
All right, so my number 3. This is an interesting pick. So we've done a lot of like party games and small box games. This is actually a campaign game that I played with my family. It's Jerry Hawthorne game. It's just an amazing experience playing through the campaign of Stuff Fables.
Oh, I got that game.
Yep.
Nice.
I bought this game with the intention of playing it with my children at some point in time.
Yep.
So please
it's great.
continue.
It's still playable. Yeah, I love it. I'm in the midst of starting to learn how to paint minis, so I'm starting to paint the minis for my Stuffed Fables games to go back to it. Has an expansion with a whole other thing. So the idea though is it's a campaign game. You're playing you're playing stuffed animals who are protecting a little girl, and like the first mission is she's moved out of her crib and she's in her big girl bed, and there's monsters under the bed. And you have to go fight. You get sucked under the bed and you fight the monsters. And it's I think it's one of the first games that had where the maps is a book where you just Gloomhaven went to it in the Jaws of the Lion. Yeah. So you just flip to the next page and there's a new map that you're playing on. And so it's the idea that you're playing this stuffy stuffed animal, and you're powering him up over the course of missions. Defending a little girl and fighting the big bad guys under the bed. Just an amazing adventure, campaign game. So it's a great way to introduce a young, my son who's 10 now. We started playing it when he was like 8. We played through the first, bunch of missions, and now we got the expansion we're going to start on soon. So this is a family game that we play, and it's kind of introducing him to the concept of a board game that doesn't just end when you finish playing it, that we're going to continue on, and you get to level up your character and, continue to play for it. So the Stuffed Fables has been hit with my family. And we got the expansion, the big brother, brother. So in the expansion, the little girl now has a little brother, and you have some new stuffies that come into play. So it's a fun game. It's a cool campaign game to play with kids. So.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Dungeon Crawler light. It's definitely a dungeon crawler. It's got a little bit of rules, so you definitely need an adult to kind of help keep track of the rules and kind of keep things on track as far as pulling cards and leveling up and doing things. But yeah, I mean, this is I played this. I borrowed it from Carlos. He's owned it for a long time. He started it, never finished it. I borrowed it, started it with my kids, never finished it. But we enjoyed it. It's just one of those games that in the shuffle of all the games, we just never got all the way through it. But yeah, great game.
I've also thought about painting my minis for this one too, but my worry is that my painting skills are so bad it's going to look like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
it's going to be scary.
That'll be mine, but I figured afterwards I could just spray paint over it.
Yeah, right? Co-op, as somebody said there. Yeah, it's a co-op. So again, you're all working together, so that's great.
And that was the idea. It was like I'm introducing my 8, 9, 10-year-old to bigger games where it's like, okay, well, later on we could be playing Pandemic and Flashpoint and these other cooperative type games that are more complex than even this probably, but just the theme of it is pretty cool too. So.
You need Mice and Mystics next.
That's on my list to buy. I've almost bought it a couple of times, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait.
It's behind me.
Yeah. Yet another game that I bought that I'm like, okay, when my kids are old enough, they're going to be into it and like actually interested. Now, actually, Mallory's old enough. I need to get her to the table with it. But that and Stuffed Fables, and I also have the expansion still in Shrink for the old brother expansion. So
Plat Hat Games, man, they do some great stuff over there.
They really do.
Yep. All right, thank you, Carlos.
Oh, okay. My number 3. I can be caught up in. Not really so much Cult of the New, but Cult of what's new to me, right? So this one is a little bit Cult of the New, but it is also new to me, and I'm loving it, and that is Captain Flip. Captain Flip is something
I want this game so bad.
I got introduced to it on the BGA.
You just learned this like a week or two ago, didn't you?
I think who taught it? I can't remember who taught
Wayne
it.
Did, I think.
I think it was Wayne. Wayne was going through the description of it, and I've listened to reviews. It's come up on like the Dice Tower podcast. Everybody's talked about it. I had no desire to play this game. And then Wayne, I had it in front of me on BGA. Wayne is describing it. And before we laid the first tile, I was like on Amazon, like trying to. Actually, no, I reached out to my local game guy, Michael Fortino. They own Armada Games here in Temple Terrace, Florida, which is a small suburb of Tampa. And he's like, no, don't have it. Don't have access to it. So then I ordered it online immediately before my first turn was done. In Captain Flip, what you're doing is you're drawing tile again. Back to drawing tiles out of a bag. What is up with that? Is Orleans on my list? I don't know. Drawing stuff out of bags, and you're getting a chit. But what's cool is you only get to see one side of that chit to begin with, right? So this is the push your luck aspect. You see a character that belongs on this pirate ship. Your goal is to fill the spaces from the bottom up in order to win rewards for filling each column. The round will end, or the game will end, when someone fills 4 out of usually 5 to 6 columns. So it's almost a race, too. You also want to decide when to trigger the end of the game. each character is going to have a special ability on how they score and how they help others score. Right. So then you're looking at that character and looking at your available slots and deciding, do I want to place this character in? If you don't, you always have the option to flip it. But whatever you flip it to, whatever's on the other side, that's what you're stuck with. That's the push your luck mechanism. I'm having a blast with Captain Flip. Picked it up, ordered it in the house, playing with the family already before we even had the next episode of our show from our BGA game, Captain Flip.
This one grew on me. I actually enjoyed it more the more I played it. And I really like how these guys here, the Bombers, give you the most coins, 5. But if you have 3 of them on your board at the end of the game, you lose. You can't even win.
Yep.
So you want these guys on your board, but you want to try to find one of those ones that allows you to flip them later in the game.
The parrot,
which is really what makes it
monkey flips.
Monkey flips.
Yeah.
And you're right, because on average, a good scoring tile is 3. Like the 3 is a good score for a tile. That 5 is so like early game. You get that 5 for the cannoneer, and you're like, yeah, I can do that. You know what? I'll do a second, and then that push your luck aspect.
And you don't want to flip it anything the rest of the game. You're like, oh god.
Portland Gamecraft. That's Michael Lorenzo's crew. Evan
Halbert.
Yes, he's called into the show. Had a baby a couple years ago. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
A couple years ago, called into the show. Man, we get to meet all kinds of people over here.
Small world.
One of our crew actually moved out to the Seattle area. So one Mike Lorenzo from our show.
Oh, he's got this Portland game group that he plays with out there.
Yep.
Nice,
Evan. Great to hear from you there.
Yeah, he's a great dude. We love Evan. Co-designed After the Empire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was on the show and talked to us about that.
It's a hotness here on our shelf.
Definitely right behind us here on the shelf.
Worker placement with tower defense. It is. I cannot recommend it more.
Oh, it's so good.
Yep. Great game.
That's my number one. Spoiler alert. My number one for top family game.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody has Carlos Panders on their bingo card. You got
that? Check it. You got it. You hit it. Well, my number 3 is going to be pretty quick here because we kind of touched on it just a bit earlier. It's a little bit off of Mike's Taboo. I have just one on my list. I mean, this is a great it's a party game. It's a family game. It's basically Taboo, cooperative. I almost consider this more of an activity than a game just because so many games of this, about halfway through, people don't care who's winning anymore. People don't care about collecting those cards. You're just playing over and over and over, clue after clue after clue, until as people can drop into this game, people can drop out of this game. So you might start with 10 people playing. As the night goes on, a few people leave, and you can just keep plowing right along. And it's just a fun activity, fun time. I've definitely played it competitive where people have gotten a little too into it, a little too serious, but fun game, light game.
I mean, if you're talking about the Childers family game night, it is nothing but competitive.
Cutthroat.
Even a co-op, they get mad at each other at co-ops, y'all.
Oh, for sure.
Love it. I played this weekend at that game weekend thing that I was at, right? And we didn't keep score. I don't even know how you win this game, to be honest. And I played this game 1,000 times.
Probably doing it wrong.
Yeah. You got to collect a certain number of cards, but who knows how many? Whatever.
Y'all keep saying this whole thing about if you're keeping score, you're doing it. I can't help but follow the rules, y'all. It's in the rules, okay? It's in the rules.
Play for fun, Carlos.
To a game.
Wait.
Yeah. Play for
Says
fun.
the guy who played how many games of Trekking the World where you flew all over
misunderstanding the rule and choosing to throw it out completely are two different things, okay?
Yeah, Bob.
For the record, it's 13 cards.
Yes,
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You're acting like it's hard. It's only 13 cards.
Some number.
Whoever has the most points at the end of that wins. There's a winner.
That rule sheet is a page and a half. Man, that's a lot to read.
So the problem with keeping score in a game like that, it's just like, well, I'm just gonna give shitty clues to people so nobody can get it right.
If Rodney did do it how to play, there's no rule reading.
Exactly. I don't read rules. I watch Rodney.
That's right.
My first time playing this. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Unfortunately, he won't show you the solo mode.
That's true.
Oh no, you can learn that on your own.
On your own. Just like Bob, you can discover that on your own.
Yeah, better off, honestly. The first time I played Just One, I walked up to a group, my sister and my brother-in-law and a bunch of their friends, and they were like, Tim, play just one with us. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? And they all just showed me their little
placards.
Their placards, right? And I'm looking at all of them. And I make a guess. Well, it turns out they didn't have a card. They just saw me coming, and they were just like, "Oh, let's all just write some words. Everybody just write down random shit on your thing, and let's see what Tim says." And so they're all just cackling and having
like a Rorschach card.
Did you come up
with a Rorschach card?
Did you give it a go? Did you have an answer?
I have 100%. I believe I guessed Cubs because they wrote some Cubs related things on there, but they knew I was a Cubs fan.
Okay.
But it could have been 100 different things.
Funny.
But I mean, it really depends on the other people playing. Like I remember we had it was a state, right? Name a state, and one of my cousins put down like Australia, and you're like, come on, primo, really? Like
screwed it up.
And because they were the only one of three that got their card flipped around, of course that confused the heck out of the guesser.
Yeah, that ruins it, or not ruins it, but throws a wrench in there for sure.
The Puerto Rican education system, bro, it's tough.
See,
Bob and I usually just cancel each other out, so it's all right.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Like Evan's comment is in my next rulebook, he was going to put some super weird stuff in there. I am waiting for some developer, some game company to put like an Easter egg in a rulebook where like the first person to read this and go to this website, like you'll get a free promo card or something like that. Like just some weird thing like that.
Wait, that's already happened.
Mind management.
Mind management.
Oh, really? I haven't played that one yet. Okay.
It's not first one, but yeah, if you do and you find that,
there's all these Easter eggs in the rule book and on the board, and like even in the insert.
I have not played that one yet. Yeah.
You can find things, and then you can go to the website, and it's like you have found this thing, and then you print out a promo card, right? And you sleeve it and put it in the box.
All right.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Now I want to play that game.
It's a 1v many hidden movement.
Oh yeah.
I like that stuff. Same designer as like Belfort and Harrow County, and he just did the Lewis and Clark, right? Chris Cormier.
Okay.
Anyways.
Nice.
Hipster.
Don't forget, phone lines are still open, 813-618-7099. We're not done taking your phone calls.
And with that, we throw it to Mike.
Yes.
Call him now.
All right, I'm gonna go old school again, and we're gonna stick with the word games. Another one I played the mess out of when I was younger, and ended up buying another copy from Goodwill, so I keep playing. Categories.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
What a classic! You just got categories, and then you're gonna roll a die that gives you a letter, and then you're gonna try to come up with as many words as you can. The fun was always trying to come up with doubles and triples, though, right? Like trying to be clever and get 2 or 3 points off of one word. That was always fun.
It's always devolved into arguments in our family.
I love how Bob's just like, sure, yeah. There's some trauma there, man. There's some trauma.
We're here for you.
Show me which categories touched you. Yeah.
No. The camera's on. Don't show me.
Over the close.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the deal with this in Goodwill? It's like every time I go into a Goodwill, there's just categories in there. But
that copy has probably caused some trauma in a family.
There you go. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I know.
Next to the 11 copies of Seen It.
Yes, that one's always there. One of the versions. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I love Seen It.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised.
Oh, banned in the Rossi house. How about that?
Oh, all right. Only game.
Rossi is also banned on the Call Out show because of my car's extended warranty. So
no, that's just
if
Dave.
that was really a live
now,
person.
Now I need to know. They need to call back in and explain what's the scenario in which this game got banned.
I know, right? Yeah, Di, call us and tell us. But wait till Mike's next pick.
Spill the beans. Spill the beans.
I want to get it to where like Mike gets so many calls during his thing that when it's his turn, he's just like flip 7. And they just like,
get it,
Next. Real quick.
Next.
Nice.
All right, who?
All right, back to Bob for number dos.
All right, so my number 2 has actually been talked about by a couple of people already, which was actually some of the call-ins, right? Ahoy Kitten was one of my call-in, one of my number 2. Mentioned by other people, so I'm going to audible it out, and I'm going to go with another one. And speaking of tiles being pulled out of bags, Karuba was a great family game that I played with everybody in my family, and they've loved it. My mom, for the longest time, couldn't remember that you can't walk through the jungle part, and trying to remind her, no, Mom, you got to follow the path and walk your guy down the path. But it's just a great game. Mike and I have talked about trying to combine our copies and play like an 8-player version of this.
Yeah, you can do that.
That would be a good time.
I've done that, I think, once where we did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so get your guy through the jungle. One person's drawing the tile out. Everybody takes that same tile, create your own path, and see who gets out first.
This and Splendor win the award for the most beat up box in my collection.
There you go. Yeah. I think Wayne taught me this, didn't you? I
think I did. I taught you at one of the brew pubs that we were playing.
One of the brew pubs we gamed at. Yep. There we go. Yep.
Nice. Rudiger Dorn. This is a classic of mine. This is on my short list of games for top family games. Yep.
That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah. Bob actually got me this for my birthday during COVID. He left it on my porch. It was awesome. He's like, "Hey Tim, there's a package out there for you."
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. But then of course, so you got to have instead of like drawing piles of tiles, it's always better to pull them out of a bag.
Yeah.
So I got him a TARDIS bag, so it's bigger on the inside, so you can throw all those tiles in there.
As many tiles as you want.
Magical bag of holding.
That's it, brother.
Have you played this one, Carlos?
I have not, but y'all are talking, and my Amazon fingers like itching.
Yeah.
This looks cool. This looks Indiana Jones-ish.
Yeah.
In our show, usually people will call in and talk about a game they love, and it's always a toss-up between whether it's Carlos or me, who's literally on Amazon, or messaging Mike Fortino at our local game store. Do you have this game?
While we're talking.
Oh, yeah. And so I can't tell you the number of games that either Carlos
The show costs me money to produce. It costs me money to host. And then, my account goes blank after each episode.
Dude, we do paid content, and this show still costs me money. I get it.
This is just another aspect of the hobby for me. This is not about making money.
Nope, not at all. It's for the love.
Then again, it's not one of those simultaneous play games too, right? So people are sitting around waiting for their turn. It's like you pull a tile out, everybody else grabs that same tile, place it anywhere you want, and move on to the next one.
The problem is like Rob and I end up like in the same place. Like we'll play these flip and fill.
The game too long,
right? And we look over like 8 turns later and like, how are you in exactly the same spot?
Stop copying me. Stop copying me.
It won't happen in this one. This one's got enough variety.
I need games that add a little bit of change in between players so that we have to diverge somewhere.
Yeah,
this one definitely diverges.
This will do it.
This is good. Carlos, we got to play this soon.
Yeah, let's play it.
It looks great.
Nice.
Great pick, Bob.
Thank you.
Nice work. All right, so here I got to compliment these guys real quick, because they are part of some of the memories I have playing this game with my kids specifically, and they're really good sports, and I really love them and appreciate them for that. I'm a sucker. You're nice to my kids. I will love you forever. But no, we even just a couple weeks ago at a local convention, we were playing Cockroach Poker.
Oh, that was on my short list.
And my kids sit down and want to play Cockroach Poker, and I know that Bob and Mike would play it anyways, but like when my 8-year-old is like, "Dad, I want to play Cockroach Poker," and Kittens Ahoy, because that's what he calls Ahoy Kitten. Mike and Bob are always great sports. We sit down, we play, we have a great time, and they don't like throw the game or anything. I mean, but we all play for real.
Yeah.
But not everybody's always excited to play games with younger kids. And we always act like cartoon characters when we're playing games anyways. And so my kids just get even more into it. But I love Cockroach Poker. This is a classic. I had never played this game until like a year and a half ago. And I had got to the opportunity to interview Eric Lang and asked him what his favorite game was of all time. And he said Cockroach Poker. And I'm like, I got to find this dang game. And then to, find out the guy who makes, some of my all-time favorite games, and there's a lot of rules in those games, and Cockroach Poker is like his favorite. It's like, wow. Okay. But yeah, Cockroach Poker is super fun. Oh yeah, here's us. There's my son playing, wearing my hat, and it was his 100th day of school, so he had to dress like an old man, so he dressed like me.
Nice. How are these cards? They keep coming back to you, brother. Like,
dude, Tim is not good at this game.
He's not good at it.
And this is why it won't make my list. Is like I suck at lying. and
sure.
bluffing, and Robert catches me every time.
Almost
I'm
every
like,
time. Almost every time.
It's a frog. No, it's not. He didn't look at it. No, it's not. You're right. It's not.
Flick it back to him.
It's a roach. Of course it is. Damn it! It is a roach.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 4 in a row there that Tim got back. I don't know if you
Oh
really
man!
actually
But then I did finally get you because I kept saying what it was, and you're like, "Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
This,
yeah, it is."
this is
And
a game I've not played, but now I really need to play it. Like, it was always a game I
it's
want
good
to
one.
play. I really need to play it. Yeah.
My
Wayne, it's
boyfriend
worth the
or my-
$10, man.
Yeah,
My
it's fine.
girlfriend.
Leave the card.
Damn it! My son's girlfriend.
There you go.
Their
You mean Rob, your
family
girlfriend? Rob, your
reached
girlfriend?
out to me. We taught it to them. They reached out to me when they went on spring break for vacation and asked my son, "Hey, can you ask your dad for that bug game that we played at that one party? Because we really want to take it with us to the Airbnb." So that's how good it is. Like non-gamer families remembered it and they asked for it.
That bug game.
Yeah, I love
It's
this
good.
game. It's just stupid fun, you know.
Yep.
But it earned a spot just because my kids will all the time. Like if I'm lucky enough to be able to bring them to a convention, you know, like I try to do stuff I want to do, but I also want to play games with them and keep them engaged. And this is one that they're always like down to play, and it like, yeah, they just get all
See,
fired
but
up.
I only wanted to play with them once. Like I wanted to destroy them in it once, and then I want to look them right in the eyes and say, "I will catch you lying every time."
Oh, there you
just
go.
remember this.
Don't ever do it.
Right, and I can't play them again because if they beat me, then they'll think, I finally learned how to lie to dad, right? So it's no, Poppy knows your tells.
Oh, see,
We're never
there
playing
you go.
again.
There you go.
Now, Tim, to talk about like you're playing games with your kids. That's part of the reason why, like Carlos, especially Carlos and I think even Rob, is why we like Dice Tower East. Is you go to a resort in Orlando and the game room's open all day. You play a couple games with your family, then they go to the pool in the afternoon, and then you have the rest of the
And
afternoon.
then you can
and
play. Yeah, then you can.
Play
I don't
the
want to say
hardcore
real
games.
games, but you can play
but
like
like
much
the more
heavier
complex
games.
games.
Heavier games, yeah.
So that's always fun. So awesome. I love that.
That's
now,
a good
so
plan.
Number 2, I can't believe this game is falling to me at number 2. Like this is surprising. I think Carlos
didn't steal it from you?
He didn't yet. No, but
right,
I'm
all
maybe
right.
stealing one from Carlos.
Steal from him. I can see his list. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is one that is a hit. Families at game days, at conventions, Camel Up.
Oh, it's so
all
good.
right. Yeah.
So
Such a
good.
good game. This is it's very high up in the party game category, very high up in the family game category. It's got racing, it's got bidding, it's got just chaos with the dice coming out. This game just hits. You can play it, large play count, smaller, 3 to 6 type thing. So this game hits the table pretty regularly, and just always get laughter when people are cheering for one camel versus the other, and
Mhm.
stack moves the wrong way, and everyone loses their bets. So Camel Up, this is a hit with our family. I played it a ton. Carlos and I think I bought new copies recently, the second edition, which has the fold out board with the. I didn't even realize when you fold out the board, because I have an older copy too.
The palm tree.
The palm
Yeah, we
tree
just
falls
gave it to
out.
Beans a couple of weeks ago.
couple of weeks ago, yeah. So this Camel Up hits my list, and I think Andrew F. like all the way at the beginning of the chat was like, "Is
Yeah.
Camel
Oh,
Up
yeah.
gonna be on a list?" And I said,
There
"Just
you go.
wait, it'll be there hopefully." So yeah,
Mhm.
Camel Up, my
Yep.
number 2 for my family game.
I'll tell you, Wayne, I currently have stolen twice from you. I've not stolen once. And you go first in the turn order, so you have the better chance of stealing. Just saying.
All right. Yeah,
But
but I've been
Camel Up
expect-
is on my short list.
It was.
Rob can see it.
Yep.
It is on my short list. I was prepared to slip in the Camel Up. We gave it the beans. What is the beans, you say? On the Beans and Dice podcast, when we talk about games, we give you the beans. That's the BEANS. The B is the basics. The E is enjoyment. The A is aesthetics. The N is the negatives. And then we hit you with our summary. So if you're curious about what we feel about Camel Up, check out one of our most recent live show episodes, Camel Up, where we gave it the beans. That's what you call a commercial?
The promo.
Yeah, look at that. Always be branding.
There you go.
ABCs, baby.
Mike,
right.
Mike should change his name to Spill the Rice though, instead of Beans and Rice.
There you go. All right, we got a number 2, Carlos.
My number 2 is, I'm surprised I haven't heard this one yet. I believe it belongs higher on my list. I guess I would make it number 1.
Wow, only one higher.
But, the last year I got introduced to a game that I really love. But Cascadia is my number 2. Cascadia, I think to me, is a quintessential family game. Notice I really didn't put a lot of young kids games in here. I do really have that variety of kids, and I really enjoy playing games with my older kids. Cascadia is one where you can bring any new family member to play. It's so easy to teach because it doesn't matter what they do. They're going to do stuff that's going to get them points. They're just putting tiles down on the board to kind of make habitat blobs, and then you count up the biggest blob of habitat you have, and then you get extra points for how you put your animals down. So at the end of the day, Cascadia can be played using the family rules for the new kids, right? While you play with the new cards from the Landmark expansion that have some really complicated way to score your pieces and have that kind of handicap to play with them. Cascadia.
I love
Fallout
that
Games.
two-dimensional puzzle that you're working on. It's cool.
And the different ways of scoring, which is fun. You can go for the points on the cards. You can go for the points with your habitats. And it's a couple things going on there that make it interesting.
Yep.
Cool. All right, I'll jump to my number two. My number two, I almost feel like I'm stealing an easy one here, almost cheating. But this game has been credited with probably introducing a ton of people, and maybe more so than any other game, to the modern board gaming hobby. And this one you can find just about everywhere. Ticket to Ride, in the hundreds of iterations of Ticket to Ride, different boards, different rules, slightly different variations on the same game. This is one of the few games. My wife is definitely not a gamer. She grew up a very competitive household. Her dad was a football player. Her mom was a cheerleader. They competed in everything growing up with her sister, and she tells stories about flipping games of Monopoly and just very, very competitive. And so she knows that she can be a bad sport. And so this is one of the few games, Ticket to Ride, where unless you take that one route that she really, really was trying to get, this is one of the few games that she'll play through to the finish and not get too upset about. But yeah, this game I think is obviously it's a classic at this point, and like I said, it's been just introduced so many people to the modern hobby. But I have people who I've introduced many people to modern board gaming, to more complex games through this. Just simple, just a couple of rules. On your turn, you're either picking up cards, you're laying down trains, or you're picking some new destinations. And so just a couple of choices each time. Snappy turns. It moves around and around and around. People can stay involved. I think killer game. And then again, this is one of the few games that my whole family, including my wife, will play pretty much anytime we want to put it on the table. So Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, Rob, have you played Markland with me yet?
I have not. I have not played that version. No.
I
got to try that.
That's the best one.
I got to tell you what, like Rob talks about his wife being competitive, but there's an episode of Potion Explosion that happened where he took a marble and her accusation was, you saw my eye looking at that marble and you specifically took it on purpose.
Just to stop me. It didn't help you, but just to stop me, you took that marble.
Just to give you a hint of how competitive that house can get.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You should have seen the advent calendar arguments on Exit advent calendar that occurred. They blamed each other for failing it. And they're too stupid to figure out the clues.
It gets ugly. So now
that's a co-op.
So we decide now who plays what games, and we're very selective in the household. But
Ticket to Ride, to make it this high, it's on purpose. And I give you credit, Rob, ballsy. Put it this high on your list, expecting no one else to have put it on there.
Yeah, it was a long shot.
To me, like it's almost like breathing. Like you say family game, I say Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
Right? And for that reason, it's not on my list.
Yeah.
Because but you're right.
Like I said, it's almost too easy. Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, it's almost too easy.
I think it's a great pick. I think it's as people like us, all seasoned gamers, right? We play a lot of games. We play thousands of games. It's very easy to overlook the simplicity and like how, and I mean that in a good way, right? Like how straightforward and easy this game is to teach, but there's strategy to it.
100%.
Good pick.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't fail to surprise you in the iterations that they've done with it. I know Wayne talked about Markland there, but I had a men's group where we were doing board game nights for a while there, and one of the guys brought Ticket to Ride Japan. And I was like, fine, I'll jump in. It's just Ticket to Ride is usually what I teach people how to play.
Ticket to Ride.
Holy moly, the way Ticket to Ride Japan changed that game. It is hard to find. It is on my draw game list now. The bullet trains, the area majority aspect of the bullet trains, the way they zoom in and out of Japan, you can see the whole island, right? But then they zoom in like on Tokyo, right? So you move to a spot on the bigger map, which then lets you get into the local metro spots of Tokyo. And then if you're you're working almost cooperatively to lay down the bullet train line, because that's going to connect everyone connects to the bullet train.
As someone who grew up in New York City, doing the New York City subway and then Boston, Chicago, whatever, and having recently traveled to Tokyo, the subways there and the maps is just, it's mind blowing. Like navigating the subways in Tokyo is crazy, and just how big that city is. It's insane.
Solid choice, Robert, on Ticket to Ride. It ranges from family all the way up to gamer. Good choice. Phone lines are open, 813-618-7099.
Now's the
jump
time.
in right now. Now is the time.
Now is the
Now
time.
is the time.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. All right. So I've kind of waffled on what I was going to use as my number 2, but I talk about this one all the time. Don't care. I'm seeing these new deluxe versions shipping out to backers.
Mhm.
So it seems like just the perfect time to talk about yelling at digital horses. I'm talking about Ready, Set, Bet.
Hell yeah.
I love this game. This is my favorite party game. Not even close. I don't care if somebody's running it or if it's streaming to a TV. It's just a ton of fun. There's nothing more fun than seeing older relatives yelling at a screen of digital horses.
Come on,
I
Six!
freaking-
Come on, Six!
Man, I love this game. So it had to be really high on my list.
Get your mint juleps out, gentlemen.
That's
Oh,
right. That's right. Yeah, this
Now-
is a game that I need to take down to Louisville, Kentucky to play with my aunts and uncles because they spent a lot of time at Churchill Downs. My uncle actually, he's a retired police officer. He was such a good handicapper that they flew him to Vegas to like go into like a little tournament kind of thing.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, they're just it's a way of life
Yeah.
down there. Yeah. So
I'm-
Our West Coast contingent of the Beat and Dice,
Oh,
Mike Lorenzo out in Seattle, he is amazing
At calling
this
this.
game.
Yeah, he is.
He will play this game every time, but he doesn't want to play the game. He just wants to be the race caller. And we had a local games cafe here.
November
Unfortunately,
2023. We streamed it live. Go into our live streams. We streamed it live November 2023. Mike called a whole game of Ready, Set, Bet in a New Jersey style, like, I don't know. It was great.
Yeah.
Number 6 coming around the bend. Here comes number 4. Number 4 coming up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good, and like I
Ray,
was
where
actually
you
not even in that game. I was playing a different game, and I could hear it. And I'm like, man, I wish I was in that game.
Yeah, right.
I
Good
was
pick.
trying to find photos of the deluxe edition. They don't actually have it on BGG, and even if you go to the Kickstarter campaign, the photos of the components are very lacking.
If you
so-
could
All
pull up
the-
your
Wow.
Discord, didn't Rob share it in the Discord?
yeah, I'd
The
have to-
deluxe is coming out. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. I
Same.
have all my poker chips already like plastic wrapped in chips,
right.
coin capsuled, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like my poker chips are good.
I just know that there's gonna be a
I
million
did buy
copies
a
of it.
neoprene mat online. I can't remember. It was somewhere on Etsy. I bought a neoprene mat.
Nice.
So I feel like I'm deluxe-ish already.
Right.
There'll be
Yeah.
a bunch of blinged out copies of this for sale at the Dice Tower East virtual flea market once everyone gets
Sure.
their fancy copies. So I'm sure I'll
Oh,
pick
yeah.
one up next. I want to shout out Mr. Jeeves in our chat in the chat here. He'd call in, but he's shoveling snow. That's Kyle.
Hey
He's from
y'all, he is Hall of Fame board game geek, Hall of Fame
yeah,
photographer.
Yeah.
Right.
He has some of the best board game photos you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Jeeves, also known as Kyle. From
He's
Chi-Town.
from Chi-Town. He's from Chicago, and I think last year he went to Gen Con for the first time. So if he ever comes back to Gen Con, he needs to come meet you guys. But yeah,
He's done an episode with us live. He took phone calls to help talk to people about how to take photographs of board games,
yeah.
like how to use your camera better. Like we get some
He has
really.
this-
It's got years. Like we've watched him have 2 or 3
Oh,
kids
yeah.
now,
Couple kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
two.
like that.
hanging out with us on the phone.
Every time he wants to get more board games, he has to give his wife
Make
a
a
kid
deal
or a
with his
dog.
wife.
One time he had a dog. He traded a dog for a board game.
But no, he has this amazing photo of Obsession where it's like photographed through like the stairs of a building, and like he has the meeples on different stairs to show like the workers on different levels. It's phenomenal. You
He
can find
takes
the
these
photos.
pictures of the meeples, right? But then he takes pictures of like real locations, and then he like mixes them together, right? And creates these composites that are just
Yeah, really cool.
his Thunder Alley stuff is awesome.
I
I'm
love
sorry, Thunder Road.
Oh, I love Thunder
Alley
Road
is
too.
better.
Thunder Alley's
Thunder
better.
Alley's better.
Thunder Alley's better.
But Thunder Road.
Yeah.
Give me
Thunder
Thunder
Road
Alley
pictures.
overheat. Controversial hot
Oh.
take.
No,
Any
it's not
day.
controversial.
Any
Go
day.
look at my top 20
Yeah, I'm not a
for
fan of Heat.
Last year it
2024.
was on both of ours. Yeah.
Higher than Vendetta, higher than Heat, higher
Yeah.
than any other racing game. Thunder Alley belongs up there.
Huge fans.
I love Thunder Alley, and I don't even like NASCAR, man, but I love Thunder Alley.
That's the best part about Thunder Alley. You don't have to
All
love
right,
NASCAR.
if-
we ran
if
leagues
get-
online. Yeah.
So we're talking about Dan, another one for our members of our show, runs a Thunder Rally League
And
online.
we started during COVID.
So Tim, you may need to come and join.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah,
bad
right.
at games virtually, but I might try.
it was great.
I want to go fast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fast.
Ricky Bobby.
I want to go fast.
I'm gonna be on you like a spider monkey, Chip.
My brain's all tied up like a pretzel. 6 pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus.
Oh, yeah, we say that all the time in my house. Oh.
I can pray whatever Jesus I want.
I like to picture him in like a
cooler in the
tuxedo
backseat.
t-shirt, kind of like casual, but like ready to party.
Oh man, that's so good. That's so good.
Is this what you mean by derailment? Like no phone
Yeah,
call.
hell yeah.
We just derailed ourselves.
Listen,
We
man,
don't
if they're
even
not
know
gonna
whose
call,
turn
we'll
it
do it.
is, what number we're on.
We're ready for number one.
Back to
Number
Bob
ones.
for numero uno.
So for my number one, if you haven't noticed, a lot of my games had a common theme of simultaneous play and doing things, during all the turns because it keeps people engaged. And then Mike mentioned Boxware. This is probably the box with the most wear that I have because my family loves Abyss. They love the art on it.
Wow.
They love how when it's other people's turn, you're flipping cards over, and everybody else has a chance to take that card before whoever's turn it is gets a chance to take that card. And it really keeps people engaged throughout the turns. And the board does one of my favorite things where it kind of lays the actions out for you. You're either doing this thing at the top here, this thing in the middle, or this thing at the bottom. And those are your three options for your turn. And it just helps to teach the game as you're, learning new people. And yeah, Abyss is fantastic. And it's probably one of the heaviest games that my family plays, and they love it, so. And I think it's getting a new reprint, or it has recently, where it's got like a extended board where you have a place to put all the locations and stuff out and whatnot. Like I have the old school. I got in the first edition, but yeah, I'm glad it's getting another reprint. And the expansion's fun too. Has those black pearls in there that are negative points, but you can get them in. Leviathan. Yep, it's a great expansion, and that's those black pearls, which makes it very interesting because you don't want to be the person with the most because then you get that little kraken, and that's negative points at the end of the game. So
I did not have this on my bingo card for a family game.
Oh yeah, this was definitely a step up. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But good game. Yeah, I've owned this one for years. Actually, I owned it for years before I just learned it just a couple of years ago, and I've played it a bunch of times since I've learned it. It's a great game.
Yep.
Hey, I want to see that comment from Evan.
Oh, the
You
downforce
flashed
one.
it up there.
Yeah.
I accidentally interrupted the publisher doing a demo of Heat to some content creators and basically walked into the room without knowing what was going on and said, "Hey, that looks like downforce."
Oops.
Whoops.
That's awesome.
All right, so I saved my number one. I knew it was safe because nobody would have this on there because cue up Tim's hipster pick. Are you guys ever at a convention and you see a game getting played and you're like, what the hell is that? And like, where can I get this? So I was at Geek Way to the West in St. Louis many moons ago, and there was a father and a son, and they're playing this game, but the board is vertical between them, and they're moving magnetic pieces on the board. Now, I'm not talking about Pyramid of the Penguin, which is the reprint of this, because I have that one too, but I'm talking about the original Ravensburger version from Germany, Flug der Mumie, where you are explorers going into the mummy's pyramid, and you're trying to get these. I see Rob shaking his head. He knows what I'm talking about.
I've heard about it. Yep. I've never played it, but I've heard about it.
And it's this really kind of fun push your luck thing because you're rolling these dice, and every time you roll a die, you're going to pick one of them that you're going to use. And but if you roll one with the mummy symbol on it, you got to give that die to the mummy player, and they are that means they can move more, right? They're going to get to move more for every mummy they've got. And the mummy player is moving their magnetic piece on their side of the board. It's the same map, right? But everybody else is moving their magnetic pieces, on their side, and they can see the mummy, but the mummy can't see where they are. So you're just waiting for that little click as that magnet like hops up on there. There's my version right there. And nice. It's so much fun. And so because you're trying to run around and get to the different, find these different artifacts. You're going to have one of each color that you're trying to get. But the thing is when you get one, you have to reveal the card of the one you got. So now the mummy knows where you're at. So sometimes you might be right by one and you're like, nah, I'm not going to grab that one now because he's right around the corner from me and could snatch me up. So it might just walk around in a circle for a little bit just to try to get him to wander off, to go to another side of the map so I can get mine. And but yeah, this game was super fun. I ended up like finding it on BGG and then from Germany and had it sent over to get my own copy because I wanted one, and then printed out my rules in English. And then of course, like anytime I do that, or Bob does it even more, like a year or two later, a US version comes out. But I actually the magnets in my mummy version works a lot better. There's the puns. Chester.
There we go, Chester. He's on cue.
But the magnets work a lot better than in my Pyramid of the Penguin version. So I always bring out my German Flug der Mumie game. But I love this game. It's super fun. It's fun to play with adults too, because there's that tension of you see that mummy piece moving around, right? Like, and you're like, oh, I'm not anywhere near here. It's cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it. It's silly fun, but really, really a fun and unique game. Great table presence, right? I mean, it did its job. You walk by it at a convention, people playing it, and you're like, what the hell is that? I got to know about this game.
Nice.
So yeah, classic game.
Well, the chat is blowing up. They're calling it a hipster game. So
yeah,
I think it's time for us to drink again, gentlemen. Hipster game.
Nice.
All right, so my turn. Number one. So Carlos took my trekking the world, which would have filled my underdog games, because I could have filled my top 5 list easily with underdog games, because I love all the trekking games, and Her Story and their games are all fun, especially because of the educational aspect. But this other game company, I could easily also fill a top 5 list of family games with this other company, KTGB. Board games. The game that I think at last year's Dice Tower East, my son and I and my wife played almost every one of their games during the convention, and the one that we have continued to play ever since is Creature Comforts.
Nice.
We play this game all the time. It is, I think it hits that cuteness factor that my wife loves, and the animals, and just the fun gameplay. And the whole, it's worker placement. So it's the kind of game, most of my game picks this week, this whole thing is games that my family plays today. And I can see us still playing 3 or 4 years from now, as my kid ages from 10 to 15, 16, we can keep playing this game, because it has just enough complexity to keep us interested, keep gamers like me interested, enough cuteness to keep my wife and kid interested. So this is a hit at our table. We play it pretty regularly. So
perfect.
Creature Comforts. But they have a ton of other cool games that we play.
There's not a bad one.
Wreck Raiders and Capybaras and a bunch of other ones. So yeah, we have all of them. So, cool stuff.
Yep. Another game that Wayne taught me. This was, I think he taught Carlos and I on the show live. Was that?
Yes, we did a live play of this one.
Yeah, and you taught us both live on the show.
Yeah, February 15th of 2024. We played it live. So check out, I think, Wayne, thank you for the plug for the show.
Yeah.
You understood the assignment.
Yeah.
So check out our channel, Beans and Dice Podcast on YouTube. You can watch us play live Creature Comforts on February 15th. And we give it to Beans as well. Phone lines are still open. 813-618-7099 is still the number. We're taking your phone calls. But every Thursday night, we do this again at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Beans and Dice channel. We take your phone calls to talk about board games. It's been great watching folks in the chat, having awesome conversations about board games. Make sure you call in and talk about them. My number one, it's It says it right on the box. I had to pick it. I had to do it. It's Flip 7.
It
Flip
is
7.
It's the best game.
It was going on my list somewhere, and I wasn't sure where. I wanted to make sure it got on there, and I put it on because right on the box it says right there, the greatest card game of all time. Like they can't be lying, right?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to lie. That'd be false advertising. That'd be a false flex. So, greatest game, Flip 7. Flip 7 is like a blackjack style push your luck game where if you match 2 cards of the same number in front of you, you are out for the round. But if you're able to push your luck and get a bunch of cards in front of you, you score them at the end of the round. When you decide not to hit, first player to 200 points wins the game. They added this thing of these 3 special actions, and that's the cool twist in this game. These 3 special actions include the second chance. So if you bust, look at me, I didn't bust. It's like a second life. Freeze, you can choose to freeze another player and tell them they have to pass for the rest of the round. They only bank what they scored so far. And then flip 3. Flip 3 is the fun action because sometimes you want that flip 3. Like you want those 3 extra cards in hopes that you can get to that flip 7, name of the game, flip 7 before somebody else does. Because if you flip 7 before anyone else in the game does, that flip 7 scores you 15 bonus points, plus everyone else is frozen out of that round. The round ends immediately. Flip 7 by the Op, my number 1 family game this week.
I think Flip 7 was my favorite game of 2024. I think it was my number 1. Wasn't it my number 1, guys? Do you remember?
I don't know. I didn't watch the video.
New to us. You were sitting next to me, jackass.
Never watched the videos.
It's so good I can't remember either, so it's not like it matters. But yeah, man, what an amazing pick. This game's so damn good. It really is.
It's a lot of. If you like push
it's
your luck,
a hit. Everywhere I take it, everybody enjoys it. They're like, "Let's play again. Let's play again." So.
Yep, for sure. Okay, my number 1. Again, another one. I think kind of a classic now.
Okay, another one.
Another one. And
DJ
Khaled. But one of the, I mentioned my wife and the competitiveness, and there literally is only about 4 or 5 games she will play. She will even consider playing. But the other one that everybody in our family will always agree to play, and I think my wife mostly because she wins more than 50% of the plays of this, is Splendor. Splendor's just been, games keep coming out and they call it Splendor Killer. This is the Splendor Killer. This is the new Splendor. Splendor is still the Splendor for us, for our family. We like this. My youngest son, I'd say as of age maybe 9 or 10, as he reached 9 or 10, he was in with us playing this game. So I mean, it's he had seen us play it, so he caught on to it pretty well. But it's I don't know what it is about the. I think part of it is those poker chips, right? Any game now with heavy weighted poker chips that you can play around with. Yeah, I mean that's always going to do it for me and for a lot of people. So, but just the matching up, the trying to race up to get those nobles at the top. Although I've been told over and over that racing for the nobles isn't the way to go necessarily. I guess the World Poker, the World Series of Board Gaming, in the finals, all the finalists said that they don't even go for the nobles. If they happen to luck into a noble at some point, if it just happens, it happens. But it's really going after those points, trying to rush to the end, trying to push the end game, and building that engine. Yeah, so
always build from the second level up. Basically, limit your first level guys. Yeah,
that's Wayne's rule. Dan, never buy those first level cars. Just ignore those altogether. Go for the second level, the third level. So, but yeah, this one's a big hit in our household. So it's got a place for us. And again, it's one of those few games my wife will just play anytime. So
hell yeah.
Do you ever play it on the app?
I have not. No, I've heard a lot about it, but I've never played it on the app. No.
Yeah. So back when I was married, we would go out to eat and we would pull this up on the app and we would order our food and play a quick game while we wait for the food to come. And
cool idea.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then it also has like some challenge modes where it says like you've got 3 turns to win or the other person's going to win, and you have to really kind of teaches you to optimize things and get a bunch of points and whatnot.
Great implementation on the app.
Pablo in the chat hit my thing is like, the Splendor Killer for me was Pokemon Splendor.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Another version of Splendor.
Nice.
Yeah. I played that at Dice Tower East, and he was like, "Where do I get this? Oh, it's from Korea. Okay, Etsy.
Online.
Ship it to me, please, from Etsy."
Yeah, from Korea.
Korea. It's like so good.
Yep. But that's my number 1.
That's a great pick.
Splendor.
Yeah, it's a great pick.
I love Splendor. I still love Splendor.
Yeah, Andrew said nice. I think the Pokemon team would work hard with the family. Oh, the Pokemon Splendor is amazing because as the first level is the base version, of the
Mhm.
Pokemon, and then level
Okay.
2 is the evolved version.
Right.
And so as you collect the chips, if you have certain on the cards, they have their own the Pokeballs or the chips
Mhm.
basically. You can evolve the character. So you basically throw away the level
At
1
a cheaper cost
at a
than
cheaper
buying the
cost,
level
buying
2.
level 2. And you can evolve it up and then go up to level 3 by evolving as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
it
the
has
coolest part is this
metagame.
There's a metagame within there. You get a pad of sheet papers with all the Pokemon on it, and you just keep that with you. And whenever you play the game, you check them off as you go. So that's like the metagame behind the game
Right.
is you're
Catch 'em all.
collecting to try to check. Got to catch them all.
Gotta get them all.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, it's good.
Sweet.
Yeah,
It was
hope
tough. I couldn't figure out how to level up I struggled with that level up thing. Wayne was doing it so well. He destroyed us.
yeah, a little bit. But no, it's. I hope that version does come to the United States because I think that's a version of Splendor that is really accessible, especially with kids because they love Pokemon. So
I'm with Chester though in the chat. I'd be going for them nobles. Like I don't know. I can feel
Yeah,
it.
I do to an extent. Yeah, not
Same.
hardcore.
I'm
not, like,
hardcore.
at the expense of other things, but I definitely try to coordinate the bigger cards I'm buying to try to get me those nobles, but also the points at the same time. So yeah.
See, as someone who is married up in real life, like I can't not try to like marry up in Splendor, right? I'm trying to get them nobles. I'm trying to.
I think most of us have outkicked our coverage. So.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
They call him a better half for a reason.
That's right.
Splendor's in my 50 play club. I'm on team no nobles.
Oh, all right.
I gotta try that. I don't win. I never win. I never said I won. But
Try something
I
new.
always go for the
Try
nobles.
something different.
I guess
That's
I
what
gotta
I've
try
been doing
something
wrong.
All right. Well, I did have Flip 7 as my number 1. So I've been sitting here trying to decide what to replace it with. And
Oh, I got another one.
3
I'm
steals.
sniping out there tonight.
Yeah.
I knew that
Are
was
you
going to
sure
get
you're not
taken.
from Washington D.C.?
Oh, yeah.
Watch out now.
Oh, yeah.
Too soon?
I knew that was
Yeah.
going to get stolen.
I was there
so
then.
it's just a matter of time. And it was just kind of like which one was I going to replace this with? So I'm going to go with another party game from the op, and we're going to talk about Da Da Da.
There we go.
I couldn't believe how much my family enjoyed playing this when we played it during Christmas. So one of our local gaming friends showed us this game. We hadn't even heard of it before, and just drops this thing on the table like, you guys have to play this game. And then I don't know, we played it 5 or 6 times that night.
Oh my God,
I-
so many
I
times.
don't know. You're basically creating your own language. So you're going to drop these meaningless sound cards down, and then you're going to put a bunch of pictures down, and then you're going to try to draw. You're going to try to find things that are similar, and then say, okay, these things are Bing. So for example, we're going to say that hamburger and that cupcake are Bing because they're edible. But the thing is, you can't say that. The only thing you can say is Bing.
Yeah,
You can
those
point
sounds.
at the 2 cards and say Bing.
Bing.
That's all you can do. So that's the only language you get to use for the entire game. And you're trying to categorize these words into these made up words. Once all of the cards have been categorized by these made up words, you're going to draw a random card from the deck, and you're going to figure out which word it goes with. 4 more random cards are shuffled in with the card you've picked. You reveal them all. You say, all right, my card was Bing, and they got to figure out which one was your card. This game's just way too fun. I was amazed at how fun this one is.
Our local curmudgeon introduced us to this, and
He did.
It was fun.
It's
Everybody-
goofy.
My nieces enjoyed the heck out of this one too. I actually bought it for one of them for Christmas, and we played it, and they really enjoyed it. I figured it was
Kind
gonna
of
be
sounds like the review y'all did on Rings and Things. It kind of has that vibe to it of trying to categorize words.
God, Rings and Things is hard. Hard.
That was
much
hard.
harder.
Yeah.
This
This
one's
is
much
like-
more dumb fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really thinky, like way more thinky than you think it would be. Things and Rings was tough. This was definitely the only issue you can run into is somebody could alpha game it a little bit. But once you've got all the words categorized, it doesn't matter because everybody takes turn drawing that random card and trying to
get people to guess it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's for some reason it's giving me a vibe of Clover.
A little bit. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A little bit.
Except
it's
like
funny because everybody's like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
Yeah, when you're playing this and there's other people around, people want to know what the hell you're doing.
Oh, yeah, all
like,
those noises
what is
coming
going
from
on
over
at
Like
that
the
table?
cavemen trying to, figure something
Parents
out.
grab their kids, bring them a little closer. You see, kids, this is why we don't do drugs.
That's right. And there's always, I've never played this where there isn't at least one person that had no idea what at least one of them was actually, and sometimes that's me, where it's like, I don't know what the hell you guys were talking about down here, but I got lucky because I never had to use it, or I'm gonna try to just shoehorn it in because I think that's where it goes.
Right.
And lots of just ugh. And so you could even put them in like in between two. Yeah.
Kind of combine them together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Super fun game. Really weird, quirky kind of thing, but and it's hard to like explain the rules. It's one of those where it's like, let's just put it on the table and we're going to kind of just walk through this little first demo. Like if I'm just trying to tell you how to play it, you're like, what? But if we walk through like a little demo, a little practice round, you'd be like, oh, okay. Doesn't mean you'll be good at it, but at least you'll understand what we're trying to accomplish.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any honorable mentions that didn't get mentioned that you guys want to talk about?
I do want to hear the honorables. Like I know.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my first time doing like a top 5 in this format, and then Wayne explained to me the steel rule,
thing.
and I was like, "Oh, this is so much fun!" So I know Wayne came in with like a whole magazine full of like loaded,
I like 10 or 12. Yeah.
He messaged
Yeah,
us
like
saying,
one
I
in
got
the
12
chamber or
games.
two.
I'm like, hold on,
Like, he was
12
ready
games.
to go. What do y'all
So,
got for honorable mentions?
Start with Wayne.
All right, so the ones that weren't picked that I had on my list were Takanoko. I almost picked
Okay.
that because my wife's a fanatic for pandas, so Takanoko was on the list. First Rat, which was also on my list.
I want to play First Rat.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
good.
really good one. And then
just got that one.
the one that I was going to put on my list just because it's so like it's a game that my family loves because we were just there is Let's Go to Japan. My family, we did a couple week trip to Japan last year, and so when this came out, we got it for Christmas, and they were like, "Wait, we could kind of So my wife and kid love playing it because they can go. They try to recreate our trip to Japan. Yeah, our trip to Japan, and like, oh, I was here. I'll just play that card. So it's good. So those are the 3 that I had that weren't actually mentioned. Everything else was mentioned. So
Nice. Okay.
That's not bad. I had Flip 7 as like an alternate because I figured somebody had to have Flip 7 because that game's so damn good.
Sure.
And I sometimes will do that so that it can't be stolen from me. Game the game, right?
The meta behind the list.
The meta. So I'm going to throw down Micro Macro Crime City.
I thought about that one. Yep.
I really enjoy this game. My kids have had fun playing it. My wife, sit there and play it as we go through and look. And I don't even care if they get derailed looking at all the other little critters and pictures and stuff, while we're working it out. It's fine. That's what that's for. And also, right, I think you had to be like of a certain age where maybe you got those magazines. I forget what they were called, but they'd have these kind of games in there. Right?
Highlights.
Highlights. Highlights. Because it's more than Where's Waldo. Where's Waldo is fine.
Right. There's a story with that one.
Yeah. But even in like the early 90s, there was like a trend where you would buy like a poster and it would be like a scene from something you like. So the one I had, for example, was like at Notre Dame, right? So it was like a scene, but it's all the people in the stands. And there's all like, there's some fans, but then there's like characters doing crazy things. There's a dude holding like a John 3:16 sign, and like you see like a burglar, you know what I mean, in there. There was a trend of that in the 90s. I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but that was a thing.
Yes.
And I had a Notre Dame one. So when the Micro Macro came out, like I was like, yep, like I'm here for it. This is awesome.
It was like the album cover to like Dookie, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Exactly like that. Same art style.
Right, like you're like looking into it like what's that guy doing? Oh, no way.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good pull. That's a really good pull. That's great. That's Green Day's first mainstream album, right? When they sold out.
Yeah, it was on Univision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, saw it on Univision. Hispanic.
I also had Wonder Book. If you guys haven't seen Wonder Book, that's a very cool kids game from
sort of like what was that stuffed
Stuffed
fables
Fables.
we're talking about? But it's a pop-up book.
But it's a
And you're
pop-up
playing
book.
inside the book, and
Oh,
it does
that sounds
pop-up
cool.
stuff. It's pretty neat.
So like pop up terrain.
Yeah. The whole
That's
yeah.
Open up
cool.
the book and boom, this tree pops up, and you're moving your character around on this 3D tree. Yeah.
It's from the same Italian company that makes Bang DV Giochi.
Joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But now they're just DVG, right? I think.
DV Games.
Yeah, just DV games. But anyways, that's a really cool one. And then I had Ice Cool, which is you're flicking little penguins, through a school, and you're
Forgot
trying
about that one.
to get them through the doors with your colored fish. And then the last one I'll talk about real fast is Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Super fun. I mean, it's like the best version of Slapjack there is. I mean, you just flipping a card, you're saying taco. If it's a taco, you gotta slap your hand down on there. But if it's goat cheese or pizza, nobody does anything. You're just waiting. And it's just a silly game, but play it. We have fun. The kids get all excited about it. Great game. Play with your family. But those are mine. Those are my honorable mentions.
Well, a couple of mine were already mentioned, right? Flip 7, and then one of them that didn't actually make my top 5 because I haven't actually played it with my family, but I have taught other families how to play it. And I think there's not much more that kids love than throwing their parents into a volcano.
Yeah.
And the Downfall of Pompeii has been a hit with people that I have taught it to. It's a little bit more in depth, so the kids got to be a little bit older. But man, do they love throwing their family into the volcano when it's time. So running them over with lava, it's always a hit. So
Nice. All right, a couple mine real quick here. I wrote down a couple of extras. I've got King Domino. That was one that we used to pull out all the time.
Love it.
Little polyomino matching up things, simultaneous. Well, no, it's not quick placement. Quick placement, simultaneous as everybody's putting it into their thing. But King Domino's a good one. I have Silver and Gold was my kind of rolling
good
right,
one.
flipping right. Yeah, I brought that on many and outings. Just put it in my pocket and bring it with me, and then just pull it out anytime we're sitting trying to kill some time with the family going out somewhere. Got those little dry erase markers. You can just play it over and over again. A couple of one bigger game is the whole Wingspan, Wormspan, Finspan. Hopefully Wayne's got my copy of Finspan. I'm dying to get that and get
Ditto
that
to
played.
that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got
I'll
a
drop
copy
them off
as well.
tomorrow.
Sweet. But that's big fans of Stonemeyer games in general. Jamie Stegmeyer, Carlos and I have met him several times, and so a real nice guy, real good dude. But Wingspan, it was a favorite of mine in my family for a long time, and I'm hoping Finspan does what I think it's going to do.
It's good. I've
Be,
played it
just be
some
a
times now. It's good.
touch lighter, touch quicker, and be a new passion. And the last one I had, I was real questionable about this, but it was just another one that the family likes to play. It's a 2-player game, but one of our classic all-time favorite 2-player games is Lost Cities, the card game.
Oh,
the
great
old,
one.
OG, yeah. Me and the wife would sit while the kids were running around at Chuck E. Cheese. We'd just sit there and recue that and play it over and over and over again. Kids, as they got old enough to understand how to play it, all wanted to play it. So, again, just another deck of cards. I just took it out of the box. I don't even carry the little board around because all you're doing is just placing on 5 different colors. So
you don't need the board.
Yep. So just a deck of cards. You can take it anywhere. Easy, quick to play. I just put it in a Ziploc bag. We'd throw it in my pocket and take it with us. So those are my honorable mentions.
Nice.
All right, my
all right,
honorable
so-
mentions. Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Go
Sorry. Mike.
Carlos.
Thought we were in the studio.
There you go.
I brought 3 extra. Right, I didn't prepare like Wayne with an extra whole magazine. My extras are In the Footsteps of Darwin. This is by Sorry We Are French, and it is a fast, quick playing tile selection game where you're moving the
Beagle.
the Beagle, which is the ship that Darwin's on, around the islands, picking up information on different creatures. It came out right around the same time as in the the Journey,
Darwin's
Journey.
Yep.
So there's a lot of confusion on which is which. This is very much a light family version, plays in like 45 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Camel Up came up on my list. I know that Wayne tried to steal it from me. It almost made my top. It's just, it wasn't there yet. It's still a very good racing game. I feel like I'm liking it better than I like Ready, Set, Bet. I'm sorry. And then finally, my honorable mention out there that I think is kind of a little bit off is going to be Caesar's Empire. Caesar's Empire is a route building set collection game set in the Mediterranean where you're trying to build roads to Rome. But as you build roads to Rome, you're going to add your roads to other people's roads. So you're going to make money. They're going to make money. And you got to figure out a way to do that in a way that lets you get to different cities. Collecting sets of cities will score you bonuses. You want to have the most sets of different regions of cities, like the most cities in Egypt. And then on top of that, each city is going to provide a resource. So you're going to try to collect these sets of resources. So then you're going to score these resources, not just based on the depth of the resources that you have, so like having the most olives or having the most wine, but you're also going to score for the breadth of those resources. So how many different resources will also score you. So it really introduces the kids and the family into this idea of multiple ways of scoring, the whole, cost benefit analysis on if I go on that location, I get that city tile and the points for that, but I won't grow the depth of my tiles or resources. There's a lot involved here, and I know some folks thought it, like Rob and others. I remember Chris Yee gave it like a 10.
Yeah,
I think
he rated it. The only people that love this game.
I still think it's an awesome game, and I love any game set in ancient Rome. So my final, Caesar's Empire.
Nice.
All right,
Cool.
Mike.
A couple party games I really thought would get mentioned would be Green Team Wins and Blake Slate.
I was almost good. Green Team Wins is on my short list.
I picked
Oh,
just
that's
one
great.
over Green Team Wins for my list.
Yeah.
But they're both up there.
A little card shedding game I know we've been playing a lot of is Kabanga. I thought that one would make the list as well.
Don't know that one.
Oh, Kabanga's great. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
so basically you got four different colors of cards, and you're going to start with numbers down on the table. You get to play a card, and other people can play cards that are in the gap of the cards you play. So if there's a 14 on one side and a 12 on the other side, you can say Kabanga, and you can play your 13, and then they got to draw a card for every card that gets thrown out that's in that gap. Well, it's really easy at first because you got a full hand of cards, but when you got to play a 14 next to a 2, you're just waiting to have to draw 4 more cards.
Oh, yeah.
It gets really kind of tense towards the end of the round. So if
I just
you,
taught a
get
bunch of people
rid of-
Kabanga on Saturday. Yeah.
If you get rid of all your cards, you don't score any points, and its lowest score wins. So there's like little pips on the cards that tell you how much you actually score. You're trying not to score and shedding all the
Right.
cards out of your hand. Kabanga is really fun. That's from Amigo.
Okay.
Quacks of Quedlinburg, of course. Deep Sea Adventure from Oink Games. Push Your Luck, Roll and Move. That one's a ton of fun. I will even throw out Hamster Roll from 25th Century Games.
Oh, hell yeah.
Some good dexterity. That big old wooden wheel where you're just trying to stack really weird shapes on there and make sure they don't fall off the wheel. Anybody can play it, and that one's always a blast. And then I'll go with one old hipster pick that I can just never get enough of, and it's Biblios.
Oh, man, my
That's a
heart.
favorite here.
You
That's
got
a
my
favorite.
heart.
Yes, finally, I feel redeemed.
Oh,
Right
with
there,
the
Robert.
Biblios
Grab
Biblios
it.
pick.
It's right. It's
Yeah,
within
Mike,
hands
you
reach.
had
It's within hands
pick that
reach.
lane.
Oh, it's up there. Stand up.
God, I love that game. I like
Anywhere,
auction games
anywhere.
a lot. I like auction games a lot. It's got the set collecting element. Actually, no, I had to take it back home. But yeah, that one just doesn't get played enough anymore. I love that freaking game.
And I own the redo of that, which is what is it in the service or the Queen or
For
the King and Me.
For the King and I, or the King
for
and Me.
There
or-
it is. Yep, I own that version. But yeah, great either way. Yeah,
Yeah, that is a good game. That's a really good game.
this is one we've played at the roller rink.
We played at the mall,
Played at the mall.
at Dragon Con,
Dragon
at the
Con.
food court.
Yep, we
right.
did.
We played it at the food court at Dragon Con.
Memories. Yeah.
Yes, this
It's a great
game,
game.
like I said, this game can be played anywhere. It's just,
Yes.
man, I don't know if I call it family, but like take anywhere game. This right? Oh,
Yeah.
good call out.
Yep. Good one. Good one.
Favorite for me. Very cool.
Nice.
I'll end it on that one.
Sweet.
Oh, we got friend of the show, and actually, founder of the show, one of the founders, commenting One Mic, One Game.
There we go.
He has a YouTube channel called One Mic, One Game where he has one video about one game on the channel.
The whole channel. It's a thing.
He
That's
says
clutch.
The Art of War. That's Dr.
Art of
K,
War.
Dr. Knizia's Art of War. That is an awesome family game to take anywhere.
In my collection, yep.
Now wait, is that the one game that he's done a video on?
No. What is the one game? Do you remember?
I can't remember the name of it. It was very much reminds me of
I remember it was that card game.
of Res Arcana. Reminds me of Res Arcana, but it was a little bit deeper.
I can't remember. Mike, chime in. Let us know.
If there's any justice in the world, he has one video and like 1 million subscribers. And that video's got 7 million
Sonia.
views.
There it is.
Sonia.
Sonia.
There we
That was
go.
it.
Mike did some of the best videos for our Beans and Dice channel.
Oh, yeah.
He did some awesome stuff. He's on with us just about every week. He was a Florida guy. We played a lot of games together out of the Armada Game Shop, and then he transplanted to Washington State. So he is our Beans and Dice West.
Okay.
Is what we call him.
Nice.
He clarifies he has 3 videos, but they're all just about the one game. So.
Okay. I still hope that each one has 3 million views. I think
There you go.
I think that is such a good. Mike and Bob, do you think it's too late for us to just do just one
game,
just cover one game ever?
And then you're out.
Yeah. We're just gonna.
Hey,
I'm just gonna talk about this one game all the time. That's it.
Sorry for jumping in. I have to drop off, guys. I apologize. Long story short, I care for an elderly parent. I need to go do something for them. So
No, hey Wayne, thank you so much, man. We'll see you next
Set it
time.
up, Wayne.
Thanks for
apologize for dropping early. I'll kind of just drop off, but if you guys are still on in 15 minutes, maybe I'll come back on. But if not, thank you guys so much for having us.
And I think at this point, I've got little ones to put to bed. Make sure we're all good to go.
Yeah.
I don't wanna
This
rush.
went on. It felt like a Beans and Dice episode where like you look up and you're like, what time is it?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Flies
Because
by.
we're in the future. We're in the East Coast.
Oh,
I
yeah.
apologize, but thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
See you,
bye,
Wayne.
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 Finish up the show strong. I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah, Wayne's. the
Thank you
best.
so
That's
much for
right.
having us, man. You guys have a great show. I watched y'all, especially during like the holidays. Y'all still had episodes going. It was beautiful being able to hang out and watch you guys. I feel like there's a lot of similarities in the jokes and the
dude.
inside banter.
Yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
just, it's like not even missing a beat. Having you guys on, seriously, is not. It was not
Feels like
like
family.
Good times.
yeah, it's not like oh we got to feel each other out a little bit and see like what can I say, what's cool, you know, like what are we joking about? Like no, it was like hit the ground running full steam. That's the
Sweet.
best.
Nice.
Check us out Thursday night, Beans and Dice podcast. What are we at? 167. Oh, I got to do 3 more.
Oh, yeah. Click. All right, hurry up.
Yep, come on.
There we go.
All
Let's
right,
get
that's
going.
a total. So we a total of 6 more subs tonight. Thank y'all all so much. Beans and Dice podcast Thursday nights live call-in show where we take your phone calls just like we did tonight. We talk about gaming, and then we let you take over the show and talk about all the gaming that you love. Tim, Mike, Bob, you guys rock. Much love to Indiana. Appreciate all you. The callers tonight were legit hilarious.
Yeah.
I love feeling the love from your people to you.
I just gotta say, guys, you have to promise me you're gonna come on and do this again with us sometime because this was a blast.
Anytime you'll
I
have
gotta
us.
get more
we'll be
whiskey.
back.
We got
we'll do it again.
This
Yeah.
I
was
like
a
that.
My favorite kind of guest, right? Come on, roll with it, have a good time, mess with each other. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's the best.
I think we need to, at minimum, we need to get a Flip 7 game, all of us.
Live, all of
right?
us.
Oh.
I do it on the table, and I just draw for everyone, and I
Yep.
move the camera around
That's
so
what I
everybody
did.
can see what their stuff is.
Yep.
And like, oh, Bob, if you want to run it, we need to do like a Beans and Dice versus board game rundown, all out
Anytime.
Flip 7
All
brawl.
day.
Oh yeah.
When we want to do it, let me know, and I'll have my second camera set up, and
Sweet.
I'll run it. So
Pick
Yeah,
a
that'd be
Wednesday.
awesome. That'd be
Appreciate
awesome.
y'all. Beans and Dice are out. I've been Carlos.
I'm Rob.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
guys.
much for
Appreciate
having
it.
us on, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly our pleasure. Thank you.
Good night,
Bye,
gentlemen.
guys.
All right.
Man, guys, that was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun. I was never in doubt though. Like I've watched their show. I knew they would fit, like, you know, vibe with us. Just same sense of humor and everything. Mike, I loved it. I loved that nobody called until it was your turn.
That was perfect. That's what I was hoping for.
Oh, dude.
Full disclosure, once I saw Evan pop on, I messaged him like, dude, as soon as Mike starts talking, call in. He's like, I can't. And I was like, dang it. I tried.
But we got Dave to do it. We got Jazz to do it.
Yep.
Chris started it off. That
Yep.
was so good.
That was
That was
good.
so good. It was the best. Donnie, why didn't you call? Come on, Donnie.
Come on, Donnie.
Yeah.
We know you were watching. We know you were lurking.
Yeah, we've popped your cherry. You've been on the show now, so
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. But before we sign off, let me just say though, right? Like all jokes aside, those Beads and Dice guys, all those guys, obviously A+ human beings, and do have a very entertaining show and informative. And it's fun to call in and talk to them too.
hey, got another one.
So
Nice.
I just say, like definitely check them out. Like talking to them and hearing about that, I'm like, okay, boys, how do we do some stuff in our area? What can we do? What kind of outreach can we do? What kind of stuff can we do? Because what they were doing right with those kids, those sick kids, is like just the most important things you can do. And it's so easy to take that stuff for granted. So yeah, they're great guys. And I'm really glad they came on and hung out with us. That was so much fun.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Sweet. We got to keep on our After Us game too there, Mike.
Yep, we do.
Longest game ever.
It
I
is the
told you
longest
I'm not on
game.
BGA anymore, but you invited me anyway, so this is your fault.
You
I didn't
accepted.
Donnie invited you. You should feel honored.
Yeah, and you can't don't you dare shame Donnie. Won't allow it.
Is it my turn though?
Shit, I hope so, because it was not my turn.
Yeah, it's not my turn. But anyways, guys,
It's not my turn.
Uh-oh.
Never mind.
Just thanks
Nice
for
try.
everybody for watching. It was so much fun, and appreciate y'all being good sports, the chat being there and participating. And for the folks that came over from Beans and Dice, thank you so much. Hopefully you had a good time. We try to put out a good vibe. Obviously they're doing good stuff over there.
Get rid of that.
So
Get rid of that. Oh, no. Stop. No, go away. I'm trying. I'm working on it right now.
So, hopefully you come over, you visit us, and you pop in every once in a while, drop a comment. Because we really do appreciate that. But I appreciate everybody, all the regulars, and then all the other people that showed up. That was awesome. Just made for a great night. Hey, oh yeah, we've seen Mr. Jeeves on our channel before. I knew we've seen Jeeves before. Right? Haven't we? Or have I seen him because he's on does Jeeves also watch like Full 42? Or maybe I just know him from commenting on Beads and Dice every once in a while.
Maybe.
Man, it all runs together after a while.
Hey, what does this skip players out of time mean?
I don't know. It's not me.
Nope, it's back to me now. Finally, jeez.
Yeah, Mike's been waiting forever to take his turn.
I know,
I
at
know.
least like half a day. Oh, look, it's Rice Cream's turn.
It is.
Yeah, Jeeves definitely used to run a search engine. Yeah, I thought you'd been here before, Jeeves. Sorry you're shoveling. We're in the same boat, but I'm not obviously shoveling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Will be
I
soon
mean, it's
enough.
Indiana. It'll be gone in 2 days.
No, that's also true.
So that's my mantra a lot of times when it comes to this snow crap.
Fair.
Oh, I thought that was your mantra to like relationships. They'll be gone in a few days.
It's actually,
Good
it
Lord.
seems to be about 6 years.
Oh,
or
okay.
6 to 8 years, and then, they move on.
You get tired of you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One of us gets tired of the other one it's one of those points. And
That's fair. That's fair. I haven't been able to drive Kelly off yet for some reason. She keeps sticking around. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna ride that one out. But all right, man. This was really fun. Can't wait to see you guys on Sunday when we film. We're gonna have some fun stuff coming up. We've got a lot of videos coming out. There's an Age Contrived video coming out. They've got an
Age
expansion.
of Drive's coming out.
They got an expansion on Kickstarter right now. You should go check out. We've got some Everdell Duo videos coming.
Yep. Tim shares his love of Cthulhu with you for Valentine's Day.
Oh, I do. Man, I recorded.
Oh, Tim might have just
Oh,
died. He recorded that a while ago, is what he's going to say. But yeah, we're saving it for the right moment. And that was,
it's been probably 3 months.
yeah. Yeah.
How about
Waiting for a
that?
good time. I think it's a good time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
so
Tim's
fitting.
phone died. Oh,
Yep.
he got booted. We booted Tim.
Ooh. Well, I guess no more Midwestern goodbye.
It's true. It's
So,
fine.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you. Sub to the Beans and Dice if you haven't, and if you're here from Beans and Dice, sub to us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
we're here.
For the Board Game Rundown. I was Mike.
I'm Bob, and that was Tim.
And that was TimBot.error.
404 not found.
See you next time.
Bye.
We'll see you guys.
Good
next
job,
time.
Stonemeyer. A 7.3 repeating. 3 heating. 3 heating. 3 heating.